Water.
Earth.
Fire.
Air.
The false Avatar Yun and his destructive campaign of revenge is at an end, brought down by the true Avatar Kyoshi. But the delay in locating and training her, as well as the disastrous actions of Earth Sage Jianzhu, have left the Earth Kingdom weak and vulnerable. Bandit groups known as Dao Fei vie for power and territory, and even the citizens behind the walls of Ba Sing Se are not safe. Remnants of the Fifth Nation, a southern water tribe pirate group, and the Yellownecks, a particularly brutal outlaw organisation, still linger in the shadows, waiting for the opportunity to strike. With the Earth Kingdom in disarray and Kyoshi needing competent allies to help restore balance, who will answer the call?
G'day, I'm Brandon. I'm playing Keeko Moo, Waterbender from the Southern Water Tribe, and I'm just looking for a good time.
Hello, my name's Andrew. I'm playing Jedd, the disgraced Airbender.
Hello, my name is Archie. I play Ted, the Airbender. I'm traveling with my brother Jedd to assist Kyoshi in her fight.
Hi, I'm Bree, and I'm playing Lilly Hannah from the Earth Kingdom, and she is a small child who gets in trouble.
Hi, I'm Dragon. I'm playing the character Tilla, who is a Sandbender from the Earth Nation.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Avatar Legends campaign, The Legacy of Kyoshi, which starts right now. Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of The Legacy of Kyoshi may contain adult language or adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello.
Hey.
Greetings. That was so smooth, Brandon. Very nicely done. Welcome everybody. It is wonderful to have you back. We are playing Avatar Legends, the premiere campaign, Legacy of Kyoshi. We are here. We are ready. We are excited. We have two apologies for tonight. Unfortunately, Archie and Dragon were unable to make the session. That's okay. We're going to have a lot of fun without them. Don't you worry about that. Another quick announcement. Now, we did have, just before we went live, we had a redemption of an NPC because we were talking a little bit before we started recording. I shouldn't say before we went live, before we started recording. There is some context that I need to provide, and this is a really good plug for you to come and join the Discord. Earlier today, while I was doing my full-time job and not being distracted, I received an email to the Lost Archives email address inviting us for a partnership with Schweppes. Now, there were a number of key factors that indicated this was a scam. The email address, for one, which was like
OP.PL.
Yeah, like clearly not related to Schweppes. The fact I also signed off warm regards Schweppes might have been another hint that perhaps this wasn't the entity known as Schweppes, but someone trying to take their credit. So I sort of posted this in the off-topic chat and said, hey, I'm going to respond to this because it's fucking funny. Like, what should I respond? And we had a bit of back and forth, and we decided on a very, very formal Middle English, Old English response, requesting them to send us samples of their product before we make any decisions around what we're going to do. So my email response is in the Discord. You can check it out. If they respond, we are going to do a video of this where I'm going to get someone else from the cast to pretend to be Schweppes. And I will respond in the voice of that character that I have created for this. I've got to come up with a name for this character. He strikes me as like a lore bard D&D build. I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm getting like heavy lore bard vibes. I feel like I like it. There's got to be some sort of like sir in there as well. Not actually a sir, just I think he's taken the title upon himself. I get like vibes of Volo from D&D a little bit. He kind of gives me Volo vibes. But we're gonna come up with a full character for this. I'm gonna get a costume together for it because I probably will need a bard costume at some stage or another. And I think we should record it and film it. So I'm really hoping the scammers respond back because it's too fun. It's too good. But yeah, we were laughing about this character that I did the voice of just before we went live, before we started recording, and Bree, as a joke, said, if anyone's got any channel points, it'd be a great time to spend it and bring this person into Avatar. And it turns out Shroopy had channel points and immediately spent them with the immortal phrase, what she said. So I am now going to have to somehow bring in Schweppes as a character into Avatar Legends. So thanks for that.
Mr. Schweppes.
Mr. Schweppes. Yeah.
Mr.
did-
Schweppes.
I should say
He only speaks in Old English.
he does only speak in Old English.
And with a lisp.
With a lisp.
The lisp.
It's a bit. It's, Old English plus a lisp is a rough voice to do.
Verily, I am Mr. Schweppes. I feel like I'm just doing Adam Sandler now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to find a way to bring that person in. Looking forward to that. But so I'm really hoping the scammers respond because I'm gonna get hours of fun out of going back and forth with these scammers for sure. Great fun. So yeah, stay tuned. There may be more announcements coming, but I did respond to them as Mr. Schweppes in honor of Avatar. As you know, anytime someone introduces themselves, we immediately ignore their name and pick an attribute that we like about them and add the word Mr. or Miss in front of it. So I thought I should probably do that, and I did sign off Mr. Lost Archives as well because hey, if you're having fun, why not commit? Hey. I don't think there's any other fun news or announcements to share tonight, unless anyone else has got anything fun to share before we jump into the session. No, looking all good.
If you're going to scam and you're going to send emails, learn how to do email spoofing so you can do it properly. And remember that when you're doing like email scams, you're only after the
Or don't learn. Just
Brandon,
don't learn how to do that.
Brandon,
Just don't learn how to do that. Just
Brandon, I quite like it when it's an obvious scam and we can exploit them for fun. If we could not educate scammers to be better at scamming,
if you're gonna do something, you gotta do it right.
No, I'm gonna completely counter that. I'm gonna completely counter that. If you're a scammer out there, don't try too hard. It's a lot of effort. Just relax it. Sign your real name. Chuck in some memes. Just really, really chill out. I want you to.
Everyone loves a good meme.
Yeah, be less good. I want you to be more
some
obvious.
gifs.
Yeah, exactly.
GIFs are great.
Yeah, or even a GIF, whatever you prefer. Just pick your poison.
We're gonna have to fight you on this one.
No one sends GIFs.
It's GIF.
We're gonna have to throw hands.
I've just realized I have the power to make it canon that it is GIF. In this instance, there's nothing anyone can do to stop me in this moment. I've just realized that there's a lot of power that I hold.
The G stands for graphic.
It does. That's
Yeah.
true. But the
It's
creator
harder.
of
GIF is
that.
peanut butter. Thank you.
Graphics. I love my
But
graphics.
look, I hear you loud and clear.
Graphics drivers.
But I have to devil's advocate. The creator of that particular file format, the graphics interchange format, did refer to it as GIF.
Yeah, but do we trust everyone that creates shit? No.
Normally, we do
trust
give
that.
people the right to name things when they.
No,
name
we
them.
don't.
Well, no, we definitely do.
We shouldn't.
we
We
do.
shouldn't.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that we do. In Australia, GIF is also a cleaning product that you use to clean your sinks. There's multiple
Put it
things.
on your
for GIF.
toast.
Don't put GIF on your
Multi-purpose.
toast. Don't do that. I think it goes without saying that any advice you get from Brandon's probably best not to follow.
Your teeth would be so white.
Yeah, look. And your intestines so full of blood.
Whatever's left of them.
Yeah.
I think we should probably jump into the session before we get too
Right,
derailed.
right.
Yeah.
Let me do the recap. Let us jump into the session and catch up. I've done a bit of a more thorough recap for this one as well, just because I had the feeling that not a huge amount of attention was being paid to the overarching plot by Archie, but he's not here tonight, so he's not going to benefit from it anyway. So
Wait, there's a plot?
There's not a plot. Don't worry. We're just fucking around.
yeah.
I'm just
I mean, I do
waiting.
attempt to sort of put hooks in the water. It is hard when you guys are there just chumming it up. Making it very, very confusing for everything. I like it. It's what I like about Avatar is there's no point me doing heavy amounts of prep because anything I prepare, you guys sort of look at that, turn 180 degrees and go the other way.
You don't catch fish with hooks, you catch them with bombs.
Exactly.
Whoa. Is it catching if they're blown up? Or is it catching if they...
Well, they blow up into the sky and you catch them.
Yeah, you catch them.
Hmm.
All they get stunned
You
by
can
the
catch them in your
soft
mouth
plate.
and have some calamari dinner. Who did that last session? I don't remember.
That was Keeko.
I think I put him in. Yeah, I had a little nibble.
Oh, I
last
point
session.
down, but I don't know where he actually is on my thing. He's actually there.
No, other side.
Oh, fuck.
There you go.
It's a literary.
How are we both?
I'm all over the place.
Other side,
I'm
Brandon.
not there.
Andrew was right. Second, there we go. Yay!
Just
We
feels
got
wrong.
there, guys.
Yeah, it feels wrong because we're like on top of each other here. And yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Let's do our recap.
That's why
Let's jump
when,
into the
like,
session.
I always point based on what's in front of me and never what's on screen.
Same.
It's just real bad.
You should, no, I think you should
That
stick to it.
makes
It's endless enjoyment for me to watch you struggle.
So
It has
Bree's right
been-
there.
Bree's right there. Yep, that's right. Yep. It has been 3 years since the false Avatar Yun has been struck down, and the world now knows the name of the true Avatar, Kyoshi. With the Earth Kingdom weak and vulnerable, Kyoshi and her partner Rangi have moved out to the Akoya Peninsula, sending out a message to each of the 4 nations. Come and help the Avatar build a better future. Answering the call are brothers Ted and Jedd of the Air Nation, Keeko of the Southern Water Tribe, Lilly of Ba Sing Se, and Tilla of the Siwong Oasis. After capturing some bandits plaguing the nearby settlement of Koru, the team are tracking missing cargo and suspected pirates in the ocean surrounding the Southern Water Tribe. Joining 3 pirate hunters, Kiyu, Yara, and Koz, the team departed Wolf Cove for their unsanctioned bounty hunt. Travelling across the snow and ice on their way to the coastline the bandits had last been spotted on, a decision was made to make a brief detour to investigate the location marked on a strange scroll. Hidden beneath the snow at this rendezvous point was an enormous wooden temple, seemingly of ancient air nomad make. Under an enormous wooden seal in the bowels of the temple, the group discovered a trapped spirit, calling itself the Sunset Spirit. After some back and forth debate on what to do, the group did eventually decide to free the spirit, who promised the group a favour in return, before departing in an enormous beam of orange light. Continuing their journey onward, the team arrived at the coastal campsite as the sun was setting. Investigating the abandoned site, Lilly and Jedd found evidence of the crab squid ink they were searching for. Their detective work, however, was interrupted by the manifestation of the Sunset Spirit, taking on a ghostly form in the last rays of the setting sun to try and repay the favour. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden blast of water from the coast, this spray marking some figure approaching the team at high speed. It turned out this tall woman dressed in green robes was Avatar Kyoshi, and she was very interested to know what the spirit and the light were. The team were quick to share their connection to Rangi, and even quicker to try and hide their connection to the Sunset Spirit from her. With there being no obvious signs of danger, Kyoshi agreed to assist the party with their hunt for the Fifth Nation remnants, seemingly knowing more about the glass shards the team had found. In exchange, Kyoshi kind of strong-armed the team into helping her avoid a potential trap set for her by Laoge and Tomiko. With a plan in motion, the team took a rest overnight and departed for the waters between the Southern Water Tribe and the Southern Air Temple. The trip, however, wasn't without incident. The boat attacked on the way by an enormous squid shark and accompanying octopus scorpions. While Kyoshi battled the squid shark, the rest of the team fought off the octopus scorpions, with Keeko, Ted, and Jedd all eventually ending up in the water. After attempting to assist Kyoshi against the larger foe, a rescue was soon required for the brothers Dim, pulled from the water as Kyoshi created a massive whirlpool to deal with the predators. We left off last session as the small raft bobs on the wake created by the whirlpool, Kyoshi making her way back over to the team as Keeko and Lilly help fish the wet airbenders from the drink. And
Hey. That is not true.
Yes, it is. That is objective fact.
I was the one that saved the boat. I didn't get rescued.
That is fair. You did get pulled back onto the... Oh no, you stayed in the water, and that's right. To be fair, okay, I will make a retraction. Only Ted required rescuing. Jedd was able to get the boat.
On Jedd.
Yeah, I put all of that on Ted in that case.
Oh, thank God. Throw him under the bus.
I throw him under the boat. I throw him under the octopus squid as it drops down above on top of him. Yeah, we will put that all on Ted in that case. Let's jump straight back in. As Kyoshi begins moving back towards you, you can see that parts of her green robes have been torn and cut, revealing underneath that she's wearing what almost looks like this padded armor. You can see bound within the cloth are tiny rings of metal, almost like a chain shirt that's been wrapped up inside these layers of fabric, providing an extra layer of protection. As she gets back towards the raft, looking down at Ted floundering in the water, she just reaches down, picks him up by the scruff of his neck, and just deposits him on the deck of the boat before shaking herself off, and then using some waterbending to remove the last of the water from her clothing. You see, attached to her back as she turns around, a severed tentacle from the squid shark still suckered onto the clothing on her back. And as she dries off her hair, you watch as she feels this sort of squidge and slowly lets go with her hand and goes, "Please tell me there's not some still on me."
There's not.
No, I'm nodding.
I'm just gonna go over and like flick it off with my dagger.
As you put your dagger in, you hear this as each sucker slowly comes free one by one. You watch as each one, Kyoshi, kind of like shivers a little bit. And then as that flops down onto the deck of the ship, she looks down behind her and goes,
Guess we're having calamari.
disgusting.
I'm so ready for calamari. It was good on passing when it was just freshly burnt, but I'd like to really zhuzh this up, and I'm just going over to it and picking it up and holding it to it.
Some good protein there, Keeko. Make sure you save some for me. You hear from Ko.
Anytime, Co, and I got to give him a high five with the sucker.
He gives you the high five, and then as it into his hand, you watch as he tries to pull his hand away and sees it's still attached to his hand. He goes, "Ha ha. This isn't coming off, Keeko."
Foot on chest, grabbing one thing like,
yeah. As it finally comes free, you watch as Ko like dangles for a moment, manages to waterbend himself back upright, and then looks down at the sucker and goes, "You know, you don't need to cook these. They're quite nice, just al dente."
Al dente is still cooked.
Ko just sort of nods. Which is Ko just nods.
You say. Take a little nibble.
As you have a nibble, you watch as next to him, Yara sort of goes, does Lilly say al dente still cooked? That was I know that was Bree's. Okay, perfect. Because Yara's about to say the same thing.
Like looking at him like he's a fucking idiot.
What do you mean, like he's an idiot?
Are you just getting that now? No, that's not true. Koz has hyper-specific knowledge. He's not an idiot. He's got very, very specific knowledge in one area.
A lot of knowledge over very little.
He's got
great
the rabbit hole for
depth
so
of
many
knowledge.
things. You have to spend a long time down the rabbit hole.
It's like coal for some people.
That's the joke, yeah. I'm holding up a mirror to a previous character that we had, just for fun. As you go, al dente still cooked. You watch as Ko turns towards you and goes, "Technically."
There's no technically about it. It's cooked.
Then what's that fancy word that airbenders use for...
Raw?
Fucking raw.
No, there's another word.
Channeling fancy.
There's definitely another... There's another word for this, a special word.
Special word.
Are you
for
Googling
not
right now?
raw.
Oh no, I just had a
is.
Twitch notification come through about someone wanting to collaborate.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Is it Schweppes?
Culinary.
No,
term.
it's a group called the Social Pillar, who I don't know.
Hello, social pillar.
I think they're
Culinary term
guys?
for
Culinary term, but it's cooked,
raw.
but not al dente. It's
I love this pause as like there's genuinely a moment where
Stumped
Keeko
me.
tries to. You got to understand
I think I'm
that
pretty good with cooking knowledge.
I don't do much of the cooking. I mostly do the preparation for the tavern. There's a fancy word airbenders use. I'm sure I've heard my mother use it before.
So something that's not cooked,
Fresh.
not al dente.
Fresh.
I guess it must be.
Dwelling on this for
Like-
way longer than I need to.
Oh.
Down to 10
I can really think of carpaccio, which is like a specific meat that is served raw.
I
Sure,
I typed raw and like other like synonyms, like things for it. I'm like, okay, there's one that's like for the body, inflamed, tender, sensitive.
Okay, all right. I think we've exhausted that particular line of inquiry. As Keeko, Lilly, Jedd, and Koz begin discussing the finer points of how to prepare this octopus squid that you've just slain on the deck of the ship, you watch as behind you, Kyoshi just shakes her head and turns towards Kyu. Is it
We could make octopus tartar.
is it normal for
Underdone.
Underdone. Is it normal for you to take on such large predators in these waters? I'm not aware of there being so many active shark squid in this area. You watch as Kyoshi shakes her head. I have no idea. I don't spend much time here. I was hoping you might be able to understand or elaborate on what these creatures were doing so close to the surface, so willing to attack the ship. It seems auspicious. Indeed. While these people are discussing how to prepare the shark squid, perhaps it is best if we make tracks. Perhaps they were riled up
We
by
can't
the.
make tracks anymore.
Perhaps they were riled up by the pirates, by the Fifth Nation pirates nearby. There may be, maybe they have been feeding them, or I'm not sure. But it seems. You're right. It seems auspicious that we would come across so aggressive sea monsters this close to our prey. Which is Kyoshi. Lily.
Are they normally like bottom dwellers or like deeper water?
I want to check my knowledge if possible. If I know anything about that.
Yeah, that'd be a skills and training for sure. Not to push your luck. As a member of the Southern Water Tribe, Keeko, as a member of ex-member of the Fifth Nation pirate group that you are currently hunting, you are likely to know a bit about this.
He's a member?
Previous.
Prithee.
Okay.
Thou hast described.
Lucky rubber ducky.
What'd you get?
That is a
You know,
6.
fucking nothing.
6. That is a miss.
Yeah.
Keeko, I mean, it's never really been an area of interest for you. The fishing side of things, like you weren't attracted to the Fifth Nation lifestyle for fishing. You were there for camaraderie, for friendship. I mean, you were kind of brought on board by your friendship with the chief's son, Sonak. So you weren't there for any of the knowledge or any of the skills. You know, shark squids are dangerous. You know that they are often fished by only the most canny and brave of water tribe benders and fishermen and fisherwomen. But whether they attack people on the surface, none of that's knowledge that you just have at hand, unfortunately. Lily, were you asking those questions out loud?
Yeah, I would say that like while the guys are like continuing to discuss, I'm like done with that conversation of what is and isn't raw. But I probably would have perked up to like hearing them talking about the fact that they're not normally here, because obviously I don't know anything about water, ocean, any of this area. So hearing them talking about it like they're so close to the surface, like that line kind of caught my attention. So I just kind of wonder and be like, so are they like bottom feeders, or are they like from a different area? Like, why are you guys so surprised that they're here?
Kyoshi shrugs. Next to her, though, you watch as Kiyu sort of nods. Yes, it is unusual to find them close to the surface, just basking along the surface of the water. They are they often feed and hunt in the deeper sections, often around the ice flows. It is strange to find one out here on the surface of open water. Something must have either driven it to the surface or attracted it here. And to have such a large pack of octopus scorpions as well, and it not be feeding on them, I don't think hunger brought it to the surface. It is unusual to say the least.
What's the natural like prey of the squid shark thing?
Otter penguins, for one. They are often its main source of food around the ice flows. They have to head out to sea to fish and to hunt. The squid shark often will wait and ambush them. Octopus scorpions, they are scavengers. They feed on whatever is left over, what is unwanted, carcasses and things like that. They will take crabs and larger prey as well, but to so brazenly attack a boat, that is unusual. Very unusual.
They kind of acted like they were working together.
Oh, that is not that unusual. They can be coordinated in their attack. I have seen them drive away larger predators from the carcasses of larger beasts that they want to eat. The leopard seal I have seen.
Symbiotic.
I'm not sure what the
To
squid
an
shark
extent.
gets out of the relationship, but it's the
They
octopus
would
scorpions are
help
happy to
gang
follow.
up on whatever it's trying to catch, right?
I have not observed that behavior myself. octopus scorpions working
That's
with
what they were
squid
doing
shark.
here.
I know, and that is highly unusual. I have not seen that before. That is very unusual. Some upset to the balance in this part of the waters.
So do you think there's something like down there that's like made them come up?
There's a moment of silence. Lilly, you watch as Kyu and Kyoshi turn to each other, pause, look back. Kyu sort of slowly nods and goes, I guess that is a possibility. Should we go investigate? I could take one of the other waterbenders and we could dive down.
That feels kind of dangerous given the fight we just had.
But we've just gotten rid of them, so it mightn't be that bad now. Like, we've already got part of them here.
Wait, what do you mean? We're gonna go see the thing that they're frightened of?
Yeah, that's just cool. Yeah. I guess when you say
How are
it
you
like
looking?
that.
I'm very tired. I could use a rest. How are you looking, Kyoshi?
You watch as
that's a
Kyoshi
good point.
turns around towards you, no longer drenched in seawater. She's waterbended all of that off.
Now
her,
it's
but
just
you,
blood.
yeah, you can see there's a number of cuts across her shoulders where the sort of chainmail padding that she wears, the chainmail bound in cloth doesn't quite cover down her whole arms. You can see like on her arms, there's sections of skin that have been bruised. You can see these dark red welts beginning to rise up on her skin, a few cuts and scrapes. And underneath her eye, you can see a gash that goes down across towards the back of her cheek. You do also see, though, as this is happening, you watch as she reaches down into the water, pulls up a section of water, and begins healing herself with waterbending. As the flesh begins to knit back together, she sort of turns towards you. I'll be okay in a moment. I just that took a bit out of me.
Her makeup, that would run off?
She's not wearing the makeup.
Okay.
Maybelline.
Yeah, I remember we didn't like recognize her when she first came up
That's
to us.
right. Yeah.
She just looked like a normal girl.
That was a long time
If
ago.
she had the war paint on, we 100% would have known exactly who she was. I mean, I'm fine.
I'm not. I am not. I am not okay.
I'm pretty much fine. Like, you know.
I like
It's amazing what taking a couple of
dumb decisions can do. Yeah.
No, what taking a couple of
Evade and
evade and
observes.
observes can do.
Oh, what's that movie? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's kind of the
Never heard of it.
ability.
It's kind of OP.
Never heard of that movie. I don't know what you're on about, guys.
Clearly.
You can see Yara also.
I was also empowered, so
You were empowered too. You can see Yara, the younger waterbender bounty hunter. You can see she also has a pretty nasty bruise across her shoulder that actually goes up partway up her neck. There's a large sucker mark that's slowly bruising on her neck. And as she talks, her voice is a little bit more hoarse than you remember. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a bit of a break. One of them got me around the neck. Hurts quite a bit. Are you sure you're okay, Lilly? I saw one of the pincers grab you and lift you up.
yeah, I'm fine.
Like on your face.
So, like, what are you
I've-
what are you getting at? Does my face not
inspect
look
Lily's face.
okay?
You'll learn quickly.
There's-
Lily's built
You've
different.
got some like no, you look great, Lilly. You look great. Just wondered if you were okay, because that must hurt, right? Like, is there like stinging around your cheeks and your no?
No,
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay, that's great. I'm so pleased to hear that.
You don't look fine. You don't sound fine.
No, I don't feel fine. Jedd,
Why are there two Lilies?
what do you mean?
I would probably have a concussion, right?
Oh, fair.
Two things landed on my head.
You did take two heavy hits from the
and I
octopus
have all
scorpions.
fatigue.
Yeah, you can see Jedd is looking very much worse for wear. Ted too. Ted took a bit of a beating as well during that fight.
Yeah.
Yara
Yara
sort of like
need to go
coughs.
down. Like, we've got a few waterbenders here. Like, you know, you could stay up here in the boat. We can dive down, us waterbenders.
Can I come?
Guys, make sure the boat doesn't go away.
I'm just gonna go take a nap.
Nap sounds good for you. I look at the avatar and I look at Hoppy. I'm just saying like.
No, you know me as Lily now. Andrew
That's
said it out
Lily.
loud once.
Yay!
Once.
I look
Hey,
at Avatar
you managed
and
to
look at
keep
Lilly,
you managed to keep your secret identity pretty well secret for a number of episodes. So hats off to you.
Yeah, I only gave it to Andrew so that he would eventually say it to everyone so that I would stop confusing it all.
Thank you for that.
Elaborate rouge. Avatar, could you make air bubbles around people so that Lilly could come down with us if we do go down to the bottom of the ocean? Is that a thing we could do? I don't know. I don't think I know how to do it, but is it a thing that we can do?
Keeko, you know how to make like a pocket of air around your mouth to get like two more breaths in as you're diving down. But given that you didn't really know much about fishing, I'm also going to rule that you're not much of a diver either. Based on that, you do most of your waterbending on the surface.
I think we did have a time when there was like something about me being like a diving bell person.
Oh,
that
we
did come up.
did. I
Yeah.
remember that now. Okay, then we're going to
did
change
have
that. So
that.
Keeko, you absolutely know how
doesn't
to
fish. He
create.
dives.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with fishing. You absolutely know how to create a little pocket of air around your mouth. One of the things that you need to keep in mind though is that when you start that waterbending, you need to waterbend a lot more than you originally wanted, because as you go down, that bubble shrinks very, very quickly, and you find that you use a lot more air the deeper you go. It's something that all waterbenders who do diving know. They use when they're taking those breaths, and it's very important as they're coming back up, they need to release that breath as they ascend again, because as you go down and up, the pressure changes, and if you go down and take a big old lungful of air and come back up again, that lungful of air is going to double in size as you get up closer to the surface, which will burst your chest cavity. So you need to be able to breathe out. This is something very important that you know, Keeko. Yeah.
Sometimes I forget that you do scuba diving and all that stuff. And then you just like whip that out. I'm like, oh yeah, he does
Yeah, he does that.
I like to think that I like to think that I
No.
whip out lots of science knowledge just whenever it's needed most, and when it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Teach people how not to get the bends.
I think you
throw
need
that
more when
knowledge
it's
out there.
not, though.
Useful.
Yeah, you need to be
Funny that way.
very careful with your creating a bubble. You watch as Kyoshi nods and goes, "There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to keep a bubble of air around us using waterbending and airbending. That should be fine. How large do we want to make it?"
Me, you. Anyone else want to come along? Lilly,
I'm small though. I don't take up a lot of room.
Jedd's got a nap. See? Basically like 2.5 people,
I
maybe?
feel like I should join you.
If Rangi were here, I think she would caution me about taking a young child down to the depths. But I've seen
She's
you
not
work.
here,
I've seen
fine.
you. I've seen you fight, and I think Rangi'd be wrong to deny you. Have you got anything?
Lily, when you go down, no explosives.
I start emptying things out. of my pocket.
No, child, cease. Please bring at least one explosive with you. If there's something down there that we need to deal with, I want to know that we can let off some sort of depth charge to
Slowly
escape.
Put something back.
Good.
And, get the big one. Get the big one. Don't forget the big one.
What? One?
One big one. One big one.
3. I start grabbing things back.
Kyoshi nods, and then as she turns towards you, Jedd, you watch as she kind of gives you a bit of a look and goes, "One does not blunt a weapon moments before battle. Why would we deny her tools which will help us survive down there?"
She was really good with this rope and like a knife thing. It was awesome.
A rope and a
that
knife.
doesn't like that doesn't destroy like the oxygen supply you're gonna have, so it's gonna be great.
I have no intentions of allowing her to detonate this inside the bubble. Lilly.
Yeah,
wasn't-
that's the problem. You don't have that intention. She's gonna do whatever the hell she wants though.
I'm gonna collect the same amount of bombs as how my mum taught me how to cook mashed potatoes. 1 per person and 1 extra.
So that's the rule?
That's how you make mashed potatoes.
I'll just throw a bunch of mashed potatoes in there.
Wait, now I'm thinking about it. Now that I think, yeah. Yeah.
I'll just look and be like, I got like 6
Huh.
potatoes.
If you've just come in on a raid, legitimately, that is Bree's mum in chat advising her on
Yeah.
how to pick the number of bombs to take with her down into the depths.
But like,
It just even reminded me of a core memory of like learning how to make mashed potatoes.
yeah, well,
And there's one there and one
yeah.
yeah.
Like that just makes sense.
I always make a lot of mashed potato though.
God damn it, Bree. You know what you've done though.
Taught us something. How dare
I
you?
think you've just derailed Bree.
Yeah. Can we blame my mum? She's the one who wrote it.
You're the one who said
Is
it.
Bree's
though.
mum's an option? That's
My mum is always an option. No.
Phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing anymore? Sorry, Bree's mum.
Look,
To
Archie isn't here,
respond-
so I had to.
To
Archie isn't
respond
here, I had
to
to. I'm
this
sorry.
and lessen myself, I think we'll let it lie.
Enough damage was just done then. We don't need it buried
Yeah.
anymore.
Sorry. Nobody thought I was going to derail the session. Y'all are losers.
No, the wildest thing is last session I was like, oh, they asked me to do it, and you're just like, I'm gonna do it first.
I
Forgot about that, actually.
I was like, I just need to find out something that's just gonna derail us long enough, and you were just like mashed potatoes, and I'm like, that just wins.
Potatoes are great. Anyway, okay. Do I have anything that I could actually use at depth?
Potatoes.
Any of your explosives would work at depth, for sure.
I don't know if I have any.
Oh, there's Brandon's camera failing. God, we're really
Look it up
memeing.
beforehand,
We're
though.
memeing hard tonight with these are very
I
like
did it on purpose. I did it on
Oh, you
purpose. I was
did.
like, no, this is a time where it's a bit chaotic. I can
Yeah.
quickly change the battery. So
this
it's
is
not a,
this
you know what I
is
mean?
very, very like in jokes of the Avatar stream for the Lost Archives tonight. We've had references to Bree's mum. We've had Brandon's camera fail. Now we just need a new NPC to come along and be referred to as like Mr.
Mr.
something.
Schweppes.
Yeah,
It's a Shrek.
Mr. Schweppes, and we are there. We have achieved 3 for 3 on your bingo cards for tonight. Oh, that was satisfying can opener.
That was a good, yes. Was that Schweppes?
Someone needs to get us a Schweppes partnership now, just so that we can like message the scammers back and like, thank you, verily thank you for the interest in our humble channel.
Miss Avatar.
Let's have some fun with that. So, Lily, you would know that your bear trap is going to function very well under the water. That's not going to be a problem. Any of your explosives that use black powder,
Yeah.
there is a question mark on that. The question mark is,
Yeah.
can you quickly seal it with wax? So once you've lit the fuse, so essentially what you'd need to do is modify your bomb so that there's like a larger aperture that the fuse goes down, and if you were to then quickly seal the top with wax and drop it, there would be enough oxygen for that to detonate.
Now, I don't have wax. Would refined seaweed work?
It would, because we
It's like a
described you
waxy soap.
rendering it into like a soap. So I would say that a plug of that would work quite nicely.
Wonderful. I'm going to start working on that while they figure out the semantics of making us breathe.
You watch as Kyoshi waterbends an enormous sphere of water and then steps into it, continually moving the water around, creating a sphere of water around a pocket of air, basically. Kyu nods and then goes to step in and then pauses and looks at you, Keeko, and goes, "Are you sure you want to go, Keeko? I'm more than happy to take this. I sustained no injuries during the fight. I can..."
I'm feeling pretty cool. I'm pretty keen to go down to the bottom of the ocean, see what's going on here. If it's okay for you, like I don't want to.
What's in invaded?
Of course, I don't have a huge amount of experience diving. Do you? Is this something that you were particularly trained in, or that you have?
I've done a bit of diving in my time. I'm not too against it, you know. Bit of hobby
when-
stuff, so I'm fine.
When did you do diving?
God, I think like since I was a kid, sort of did a bit of diving around then. Yeah, just going above the ocean, trying to find some food and stuff like that. Like just bits and pieces, you know. Have you done diving before?
Not a huge amount, only to fish the wreckage of pirate boats that we have sunk. If there are goods that we need to retrieve,
that's-
I have assisted with that.
That sounds scary. How's that?
I mostly was focusing on creating a channel of air down to the divers. If you create a large
cool.
enough whirlpool of water, you can create a breathing tunnel for shallower
if we get
dives.
if we start getting in any trouble, I'll start trying to make little blasts of looks like a signal smoke, just like blasting water from the bottom, like little bubbles come up. If you start seeing a bunch of those pop up,
What
And
we used to do was make spheres of
makes
ice.
the whirlpool.
Make spheres of ice under the water. The ice would
Better.
float and it would shoot to the surface. If there are 3 spheres of ice, we will know that you are in danger. I will come down and help you. That is what we used to do. Shallow dives.
That sounds like something that like a professional diver would know. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll throw up some ice.
Perfect. Lilly, as you finish the tiny adjustments on your bomb, you are able to quickly convert one of your black powder bombs, one of your black powder smoke bombs, into what I'm going to call a makeshift depth charge. Tell you what, let's see how well you do. Could you roll with skills and training, please?
Okay.
She made a sea mine.
It's a pipe bomb! Yay!
Nothing to it. Nothing to it.
8.
8. That is a partial success. Successful consequences. Lilly, you finish off your makeshift depth charge, adjusting your smoke bomb, creating a slightly larger funnel and aperture, lengthening out the cord, and swapping out for the black powder soaked rope to use as your fuse instead. As you look at it, it looks like it should suffice. You don't think there's going to be any issues with this particular design. As you tuck the depth charge away into your pouch, you've got one that you can take with you.
Whenever you say things like you don't think there'll be an issue with it, I get really nervous.
I had no idea. I guess I should apologize and try to do it more often in the future.
It's like when
I don't
someone's
trust it.
like, can I open this door? It's like, you can try. Sure.
Can you?
Certainly try.
One of my
Tone.
one of my toxic DM traits is to, as much as possible, leave it vague about things like that. So when, like, one of my favorites is whenever there's a perception check or thing, I go, it appears as if, and then I'll give the description. Your watches, it's like, what do you mean it appears? What are you talking about? The room.
Speaking as your subconscious, this is probably what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll get different subconscious. For Keeko to be like, yeah, mate, room's empty. For Lilly to be like, you see no sign of any danger immediate to you. No valuables jumping out either. And for Jedd to be, this room is bereft of interest to you, but it would be a good space for meditation. Calm and quiet and isolated from the rest.
The door is blue and resembles the fact the door is blue. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That'd be for Ted. The door is blue. Represents the trauma of your childhood. And blue. Lilly, as you step forward, Keeko, step into the sphere of water. Kyoshi's currently sort of bending around, keeping active. Yep, as you take a breath and then step through, the water that coats your body is immediately pulled back off into the sphere again. If you were wet after your interaction with the octopus scorpions, it has now been pulled out to form this sphere of water around you. As Lilly, as you step through as well, exactly the same thing. The water immediately soaks through, ice cold. You are still around the Antarctic, and then immediately pull back out to form this bubble. As Kyoshi begins spinning. What was that? Are you singing?
Just imagine we've all gotten cotton mouth right now. We're all just stepped in. We're all just like doing pasty.
So the moisture from your eyes is torn away. No, that doesn't happen.
I'm imagining it being like
Actually.
taking like a dip in an ice bath, you get that sudden like all over body like shock, and then
Yeah.
you feel better like as soon as it's taken away.
So there's a really fun reflex when the human body is exposed to cold rapidly, especially cold water at the core. It is very hard to resist this reflex, but you have an immediate reflex to take a gasp in. Keeko and Lilly, you both get a little bit of salt water in your mouth as you both step. Probably Keeko less. I mean, you're from the Southern Water Tribe. I'd say that it makes a lot more sense that you're pretty attuned to this environment. But Lilly,
you
for
still
sure,
get the little reflex, but you hold it.
bite down. As you step into the sphere, the bottom of the sphere, currently where you're standing, isn't super stable. You can see that Kyoshi has frozen a chunk of ice at the very bottom of the sphere, a flat surface for you to stand on, but it's moving a little bit. And as soon as you both step on, Kyoshi goes, hold still, hold still. This is hard enough without people moving around. Please be still and steady. If you need me to freeze your feet to the ice, I will. Let me know if you can't stay still enough, okay?
I can't stay still.
Okay. Kyoshi, as she's spinning her hand around, closes her fist. You watch as ice up your thighs. That's probably a bit high. Up your calves and freezes your legs to the ice flow. locking them in place.
I kind of just like look down and like move my legs like, cool.
This should keep you steady while we descend. Keeko, I'm going to need you to focus on keeping the sphere steady while we descend. Obviously, there's quite a large volume of air that we're keeping in here. It's going to be very hard to push down against the pressure of the water. Can I trust you to assist with this?
Aye, Captain. I start doing the thing.
I'm afraid you don't fully understand. I don't want subtlety. I don't want technique. I want raw power. You are here to push as hard as you can against the pressure of the ocean.
Always pushing it.
Then let's do
as
this.
I can. Avatar, let's do this.
Perfect. Keeko, could I please get a skills and training?
Don't fuck it
Certainly.
Don't fuck it up.
You're right.
Please fuck it up.
Oh, here we are.
I'm so
Hey,
ready.
looking great.
8 looking great. Success with consequences. As you begin, just talk me through. What's your plan here? Kyoshi's told you to try and keep the sphere steady and push with as much might as you can against the pressure of the ocean. Are you just gonna just go just push upwards with all of your might every few seconds?
This is kind of it. I'm just sort of like doing like a big like, whoom, just like getting this like motion of like the water, sort of like with this sphere, and just like using it to kind of like push up against it. Like if I could in some way, it's like maybe forcing the bubble to be like an egg shape, because egg shapes are like naturally strong as pressure goes out on top of an egg. So you're sort of making it oblique a little bit like that. Perhaps physics nerds come at me.
Spot on.
But I
No.
think that sort of works.
You're spot on. Absolutely. And Kyoshi goes back to back with you guys on either side, back to back. Lily sort of standing there, frozen to this ice flow, sort of like looking around. Both of you, you watch as Kyoshi sort of sees you, nods, a little half smile, and then matches your motions exactly. As the two of you essentially just create waves that press down, rather than trying to push the bubble down, you're trying to move the water on top of it to displace it downwards. That's the most efficient way to move this down into the water. Absolutely spot on, Brennan. Absolutely spot on.
Let's go.
As the bubble begins to drop below the surface, Jedd, you look over the edge of the boat and you see Lily sort of look up to you in this last moment before the water closes over and the bubble drops away. Lily, the first thing you notice is the dark. As this sphere of water begins to descend, the light drops off very, very quickly. You can see next to you as Keeko and Kyoshi are continually pushing against the water, displacing this bubble downwards. The darkness closes in all around. You almost can see shapes moving at the edge of your vision. Long, sinewy, serpent-like shapes out in the darkness, but as you squint, they vanish, disappearing from view. The cold begins to seep in as well. Without the sunlight, down under the crushing weight of the Arctic waters, it is suddenly very cold, very dark. And I would say this is one of the very first times, Lily, you feel a genuine fear of your own mortality.
I was going to say, like, as it goes further and further down, like all her bravado and confidence just slowly kind of leaches out of her, and she reaches out and just holds on to, like, because I'm guessing as it gets darker, I can only really make out exactly where Kyoshi and Keeko are. So I'm just going to hold each of them, like just reach out and grab a piece of their clothing and hold on to them.
As you do, you watch as Kyoshi glances down and sees you and looks around, sort of so focused on the bending that she notices how dark it's getting. You watch as she nods and then begins to sort of like move her mouth around, and a tiny spark of fire emerges inside her mouth for a moment before she then spits it out, creating this little momentary flicker of flame. Damn. Do you have anything flammable? I can light it with my fire bending. I just can't stop moving for a moment. Otherwise we'll shoot right back up.
Can I make a makeshift torch somehow?
Yeah, I mean, you've got your equipment with you for the most part.
I've got
You've also-
explosive pieces, I have flammable twine, I don't really have any, like... Can I take the yellow neck scarf,
Yes.
cut a small piece of it off so that I keep a small piece of it, and kind of use the rest of it to create and dip the rest of it into my charcoal dust No. Not charcoal dust. The flammable crap that I have that's usually in my smoke bombs and kind of like coat it in that.
I would
And
say
then
yes.
wrap it around. What would I wrap it around? I'm going to wrap it around one of the ivory totems of an elemental spirit.
Don't you have the hammer? That
You have a stone dagger.
No, I'm not going to put it on my stone dagger. I'll put it on the hammer. I forgot that I had the hammer. I'm going to wrap it around with the hammer.
Ancient totem?
It's ivory. It'd be fine, probably. I was like, the only
I'm going to
thing
let you
that I
know right
have.
now, ivory is not going to be fine. When exposed to black powder and flame.
Yeah. Okay. I'll wrap it around the club hammer thing that I took
The
off
hammer.
of Keeko a couple seasons ago. Episodes.
Yep.
Wrap it on with some of the some normal rope, and then at the top wrap a little bit of flammable twine and just hold it out in front of her mouth.
Nice. You watch as Kyoshi sort of like, as you hold this up, she goes, "Oh, that smells. What is that? What have you coated this on? Coated this in?
Stuff that burns.
How much? We need to be careful with how much oxygen we're using down here."
You
roll
did
with
take measurements, right?
Skills and training or push your luck.
I would say this falls under push
See
your
how
luck
this goes?
because you don't know what you're doing. You're kind of making it up
She
as you
goes
go
by
along.
vibes.
9.
9 looking fine.
I'm pretty good with bombs and explosive. You would think that I would have some inherent knowledge of making measurements of things.
I would absolutely agree, and that is exactly what happens. Lily, the volume of air that you've got in here, I mean, the other thing I should point out really quickly, you notice this first, Lily, given that you're sort of like looking out a little bit scared. The bubble's shrinking. As you go deeper and deeper, it's pressing in around you, and you can feel your ears popping every so often as well, like filling up with pressure that you have to yawn and click your jaw to break that pressure behind your eardrum, behind the tympanic membrane. What's more, as it's getting pressurized around you more and more as well, you can see Keeko and Kyoshi are having to work harder and harder and harder to push this down, to create the momentum needed to sink this bubble. As you look up towards the surface, you can't see it anymore. You're probably 30 meters down at this point, and you're starting
Unless
to
you're
reach.
using the metric system.
We are. So yes,
I thought you were going to say 30 feet, and I'm going to be like, I don't know how big that is.
that's not very
Not that
much.
far.
30 feet's not
That's
that
not
much.
far at all.
Yeah.
That's how far you can
That's like
walk as a
300
human
meters, right?
in D&D.
We're down 10 fathoms right now.
Yeah, that's it.
Leagues.
Pretty far, right? I
I
got
don't know. I think so. I think
Yards.
Rapture was down. a
Leagues
fair
is
few
not a
fathoms.
measure
It
of
was at the bottom of the sea.
Oh my
Leagues,
god, fathoms is one fathom is
fathoms
1.8.
is a measure of depth.
Meters.
League is a measure
That's
of
speed, isn't it?
distance. I
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
distance. Yeah, but it's not depth. So 20,000
when they go
leagues
that
under
way.
the sea isn't how deep they are. It's how far they travel under the sea. I hate to be that guy, but I don't. I fucking love being that guy.
I was only like a meter deep the whole time.
Technically, if you could be. That would technically count. Yeah. As Lily, you're pretty confident that what you've got here will burn.
Fathoms 2 meters.
What was that?
So,
Sorry,
yeah,
Keeko?
so 50 a fathom
Bree.
is 1.8 meters, so we're about
Yeah.
15 fathoms right now.
Okay, so it's not. It's again, that's pretty reasonable.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
As Lily, you know that this particular contraption you made here, because the scarf is made of silk. Oh, is it going to burn with a lot of smoke or not a lot of smoke? I was going to say, in my memory, silk
I
doesn't
thought
burn
it was
with lots
cotton,
of
not silk.
Is it cotton? It could be cotton. Let's say it's a cotton scarf then in that case, because cotton.
Because I'm just thinking, where would a whole league of not bounty hunters, fucking bandits get silk?
It's a good point.
Silk would be a pretty good commodity.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. Let's say it's cotton scarf then. You know that it's going to burn quite well. Cotton does burn quite well. You don't know what the dye is going to do to the smoke, but you know that cotton, when it burns, lets off a sort of whitish grey smoke, not in huge quantities. It's not going to be filling up the bubble with smoke anytime soon. And the other thing that's going to be on your side here is how cold it is. That's actually going to slow the amount of smoke being produced and keep the smoke towards the top of the bubble, because the smoke in terms of air temperature is going to be so much hotter than the ambient air temperature around you. The smoke's going to move right to the top of the bubble, probably set on the surface of the water and then be dragged out into the ocean. The particles and the tar that's being produced by the... Yeah, Lilly knows her explosives. This is what Lily's subconscious source kind of spits out to you, Lilly, as you do this. Yeah, you think it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Not for very long, but this won't burn up a huge amount of oxygen very, very quickly. And it's not going to burn with a big, bright flame. It's just going to be embers. But even that is enough light right now. It is almost pitch black as you begin descending deeper and deeper.
Cool. I hold it in front of her mouth.
You watch as Kyoshi nods, like moves her head again and goes, and spits a tiny little ember of flame onto the tip. You used the black powder smoked tip, correct?
I used that's the only like flammable thing I had. Yeah.
So yes is the answer to that question. I mean, I asked the question knowing the answer already. It immediately...
Yeah, I didn't have any other kind of like oil of any kind.
It's like a sparkler being lit. There's this initial... as it suddenly goes up. Kyoshi closes her eyes and moves away from it. As you're holding this in front of her face, she immediately throws her hands back. The bubble tips immediately as she pushes back this sudden powerful burst of bending. Keeko and Lilly, I'm going to need you to quickly roll with push your luck.
To what?
How did 9 get me that?
Because Lilly is strapped to the...
Yeah, I'm attached to the eye.
Then I'll just tell you what happens to you. There's no reason for you to roll any dice. I'll just tell you what happens. 7, Keeko.
I'm glad I attached myself to the ice, I think.
As you fall towards the surface of the bubble, immediately displaced, the ice, as Kyoshi pushes back her feet against the ice, she throws her hands forwards trying to push away from this sudden burst of fire and light right in front of her eyes. It's less the flame that's problematic, it's the sudden burst of light right in her face.
Yeah. It's the fact she got flashbanged.
Yeah, someone literally lit a sparkler in her face. just went like right in her face. As it goes off, you watch as she throws her hands back, her eyes suddenly squeeze shut. Keeko, you immediately fall forwards towards the edge of the bubble. Throw out your hands just in time and freeze right where you're going to land, your hands crashing into the ice. The bubble immediately spins, the weight of the 2 ice cubes now slamming together, the 2 ice flows slamming together. Lilly, you are slammed into the other side of the ice as it immediately cracks together. You throw backwards, crashing into Keeko. Your legs still pinned to the ice as the momentum then carries you back forwards again, and you get that sort of contra coup concussive force as you go forwards, then backwards, then forwards. Kyoshi immediately spins her hands and creates a bit of a whirlpool above with her eyes tightly closed. She's not facing directly upwards at this point, and the bubble immediately begins to spin out. There's a sudden and you watch as an enormous section of the bubble is lost, immediately shooting up towards the surface. The bubble shrinks by about 40% in a sudden instant as it collapses down around as Kyoshi desperately tries to get control. Keeko, spin, Keeko, spin the bubble. We need to keep it spinning right now. As she calls out to you.
Back up to my feet. Spin. Egg, big egg.
As you both get control of the bubble up on the surface, Jedd, they've been gone for 5-10 minutes. You watch as Ko sort of looks over the edge and then looks back up at the sky and then goes, I miss Keeko. And then sort of taps the side of the boat idly for a moment, looking over at Yara. Yara just shakes her head. And then there's this sudden as a whole section of the water explodes upwards in a sudden burst of bubbles. There is no sign of the others. As the boat rocks backwards and forwards from this sudden displacement of water as a result of the bubbles, you watch as Keeko grabs the side of the boat and looks over, desperately looking for signs of little white sections of ice. Did anyone see anything? Did anyone see anything on the surface? Have they come back up? Is everything okay?
No, there's just some air.
That's what they need to breathe, Jedd. If there is some air up here, that means it is not down with them.
Look, hey. I know.
I would think the Airbender would know more about the requirements of the human body for it.
What else do you want me to do? I don't know what they're doing. They could be going through some tunnel or something. We don't know.
You watch as Ted leans over and sniffs the explosion of bubbles and goes, smells like smoke.
I knew Lilly should have left all those fucking explosives on the boat.
Because it would, right as you set this off, there's that sudden burst upwards, and that's what's going to be lost in the top of the bubble.
Yeah.
You watch this as Ted sort of turns towards you, Jedd, and then looks back and goes, how much trouble are we in if Lilly just killed the Avatar?
If that happens, we're never going back to anyone ever again.
I don't think it's a matter of going back. I think Rangi will hunt us the fuck down.
Hey, she didn't know we were with the Avatar. She never will. It's all good.
You watch as Kyu sort of turns towards the two of you, a little bit of disbelief on her face. I'm sure they're fine, but perhaps...
Oh, I hope so too, for all our sakes.
we
Also,
had nothing to do
Keeko-
with this. I advised against this plan from the beginning.
So I wanted to take a nap, so hey. What was that? Yeah, so, yeah, we'll be fine. If we want, you can probably, like, might want to be more alert now. I don't know how I'm going to help. I can probably send air down if need be.
Can you?
Well, if you start a vortex, I can probably increase it.
Perhaps we should. Do you think they might need a refill if they have lost that much air from their bubble for the dive? Maybe we should send some down. If I create a... You watch as Kyu begins spinning her arms around, creating a little vortex on the surface. The boat, immediately caught in the vortex, begins to slowly orbit this little whirlpool that she's created.
Can you two just like sort of keep the boat steady so we don't end up going in the vortex when it gets bigger?
You watch as Ko stands up, moves a few seats to the back, and then sits down, changing the weight distribution of the boat rather impressively, causing the back half where you're standing to lift up a little bit out of the water, away from the whirlpool's edge. I got you,
Great
brother.
job.
No need to
Great
fear.
job.
Ko's is here.
That rolled off the tongue really well. I'm proud of you.
I've never said that before today.
As she starts making the vortex, I'll just sort of like start like also just pushing air down to make like it just more effective, basically.
I
So
don't
you're-
foresee this going well.
So
No,
what you're-
neither do I.
So what you're trying to do, Jedd, I just want to wrap my head around this, are you trying to sort of just push loads of bubbles into the vortex so that it gets like pulled underwater in the vortex? Or are you going to send like a big blast of air down towards them? What's your plan?
I was thinking more like a constant stream of like air going the other way.
Okay. Trying to hook it up. That's okay. Yeah. Can I get you to roll
Does
with
that
push
make
your luck,
sense?
please? There's gonna be a tricky roll. What you're asking.
Maybe not. Like,
Because you don't even know where they are under the water. You know they're under the water, but it's a big old ocean.
An air drill. Just
Look, I don't know. Yeah,
into a bubble and popping it
if we
under
aim where the bubble
pressure.
was, they've also just been pushed somewhere else, so we don't know.
I do
can we
like
just-
Brandon has identified one of the potential consequences of this plan, an air drill.
Really?
8, success with consequences. That's not too bad.
All I'm imagining is like this vortex coming down, displacing it further. Kyoshi losing control and all of us drowning.
Well,
Especially
Kyoshi won't
me,
drown, but
because
Lilly, you could be in
the
trouble.
ice is gonna come up and I'm gonna be stuck downwards.
No, you get skyrocketed up because you're attached to ice, so you're fine.
Yeah, but the ice is gonna flip.
Yeah, you'll just be like
Waterboarded up.
Yeah.
Also, the sudden changing pressure will kill you.
Yeah.
Unless you're breathing
Because
out at the same time.
I have no way to know to breathe out at the same time. I would just hold my breath and like maybe like scream and let out all my air at once.
So you would probably let out all the air straight away because the cold water will just hit you.
Ironically, the safer thing for you, Lilly, in this scenario would have not been to breathe any of the air inside this bubble, because this bubble, the air is compressed down at like multiple atmospheres worth of pressure. For you to be able to ascend and descend really quickly, the only way you can do that is if you have the same lungful of air that you had at the surface, take it down with you, and then come back up again. It's the only way you're okay. That's why freedivers don't die and their lungs don't explode. It's because the air that they've had is at 1 atmosphere, they go down to whatever depth they go to, and then they come back and the air's still at 1 atmosphere when they come back. Shrinks in that process, but our lungs are big bags. They can contract quite a lot without any problems. It's when you go down and take a big old lungful of like 3 atmospheres of pressure air and then come back up to 1 atmosphere. That is quite a lot of air. Yeah. I mean, I just is the only sort of
Xenomorph.
mime
Just
we
us.
need to do for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't practice your Wim Hof deep breathing down the bottom of the ocean. Got you.
Agreed.
Or do.
definitely.
It's up to you. I can't tell you what to do.
Jedd, as you begin, we there are some things I think we can all agree on. That would be one of them. As you begin spiraling down, helping out the creation of this whirlpool, pushing down this air into the water, a lot of it comes back around as bubbles. You watch as the water around you almost begins to boil with this essentially tiny bubbles coming back up again after they've been distributed throughout the water, creating almost what looks like a hot spring all around you. Lilly.
Would you say that the ocean is now effervescent?
I would now say the ocean is significantly effervescent, which does mean I suspect that a certain NPC is going to be summoned by this.
Are you saying we're getting swept up in all this?
We are getting swept up in all of it. There are some days where I wonder, what monster have I created with this channel? What madness have I unleashed? I'm so tempted at this point to have like an airbender like drop down from the sky and be like, hey, whoa. Verily, this technique of carbonization of the surrounding water is copyrighted for thyself. I won't do that. We will. I do have to honor the summoning of Mr. Schweppes, but I'll wait until we're a little bit closer to the Air Nation, to the Southern Air Temple. He's definitely gonna have to be an airbender, I think.
Or like he's flying by and he sees what's happening. He doesn't think to help, but he sees all the bubbles of the water and goes, interesting, I could help with this. And then he flies off and becomes a capitalist.
That's it. I'm going to have, when you guys get to the Southern Air Temple, there's going to be this dude who's like, hark, upon my trip through the cerulean skies, did I thus perceive a disturbance, a permutation of the waters. A bubbling, as it were, as if some great effervescence rising from the deeps, and I was inspired by such a sight. I think that's what we're going to have as the thing.
Yes.
Perfect. If you're confused by
just
this,
created Schweppes.
me too. Yeah.
Look it up.
I call it Schweppes.
Mango tart flavored.
Oh shit! Don't use. We need to save this material for when we get to meet Mr. Schweppes. Come on, don't use it all now. This is going to be very important to bring up later. This is vital to the story. As the water begins to bubble and boil around you, which is, Coase looks over the edge and goes, "It wasn't me." As we dive back below the water, down with Keeko and Lilly. In the darkness, Lilly's torch begins to burn with a very soft yellow-orange flame as the scarf takes light. That initial burst of light fades. But if anything, the darkness seems more oppressive now, your eyes bleached by the sudden explosion of light onto your retina with the activation of your torch. It takes a moment for your eyes to recover. Andrew.
With the light, wouldn't it make it harder for them to see out?
Yes, Andrew, it would. It wasn't for them to see things better. It was because Lilly was really scared. That's why Kyoshi offered this.
Yeah. I'm just, and everything can see them now. Cool.
It was the Avatar's idea. Okay.
Some might say the beacons of Gondor have been lit.
Have been lit. Yeah.
Others might say the dinner bell has been rung.
Some might say we've just anglerfished ourselves at the bottom of the ocean here.
And there's no anglerfish attached to it.
Avatar told too.
She was worried about you being scared. It was a rare moment of empathy from Kyoshi. Don't worry, she's going to learn better. As the bubble descends deeper and deeper.
You learn.
This is one of those key moments of learning. As the bubble descends deeper
And an
and
event.
deeper, the light that's refracting off the bubble is allowing you to see some things outside the bubble. It's not completely blinding you, especially if you put it behind you. Lilly, you find that if you look in whatever opposite direction the light is pointing, it's much, much easier to see. And as you hold the light in between Keeko and Kyoshi, the light that's cast outwards for both of them to see what they're doing actually isn't making it impossible to see outside the bubble. It is helping a little bit. A moment later, dark shape, long and angular, suddenly emerges from the darkness. You watch as both, I would probably say all three of you actually in this moment, all three of you for a moment freeze, causing the bubble to lift up just a touch before Keeko and Kyoshi begin pushing down again. But you see this dark shape in the water isn't a creature. It's a ship. Broken, half sunk, but not on the bottom of the ocean. The ocean floor disappears kilometers below you. But you can see this ship almost floating in the darkness, hovering in place. And as you peer through into the shade and the gloom surrounding you, you can see thousands of fish spinning and moving around the bow of this broken vessel. And tied to the figurehead, you see a person. There's a moment of horror as you watch their heads slowly lift for a second. But it wasn't them moving. You watch as a large eel emerges from inside their mouth, spins around, having pushed the body, and disappears back into a hole in the neck as it eats away at the flesh. The figure is young. Maybe 25, 24. The water has bleached their skin a much paler shade, but it would have been tanned, not too dissimilar from Keeko's, up on the surface. Their clothing is Water Tribe in origin. You can see the blues of the coat, the greys of the undergarments. A few white bandages wrapped around the chest as well, not too dissimilar to Keeko's outfit. But you can also see braces of Fire Nation make on the forearms, and boots that look very like Earth Nation boots. Keeko, this appearance is not at all unusual for you. The pirates of the Fifth Nation can't be picky with the clothing that they acquire, and it's not unusual for them to wear the spoils of what they've taken from other vessels. You see a nice pair of boots on a merchant, you take those nice pair of boots. They are now your nice pair of boots. See a nice coat? You take that coat. It's not unusual to be wearing the garb of many different nations, eclectic mismatch of various cultures and clothing adorned across your body. For a horrifying moment, Keeko, as you look upon this figure, you think it might be Sonak. But the face is wrong. The chin a bit less square, and the hair much, much longer and waving about in the darkness. But unmistakably a member of the Fifth Nation. And as the currents of the water begin to push and move the coat, you can see a large, curling symbol carved into their chest. Lilly, you have no idea what this symbol means, but Keeko, you know it instantly. This glyph is for a traitor. Someone who has betrayed the Fifth Nation. Someone who has worked against them. This is a warning. But for the boat to be sunk and deep underwater, highly unusual. Next to you, you watch as Kyoshi peers through the gloom at the figure and shakes her head. They're monsters. I wonder what poor... Sorry, I'm doing Kyo's voice for that. They're monsters. I wonder which poor person was taken and sunk with their vessel. Some fisherman, some merchant, maybe? She peers through, not recognizing this as a member of the Fifth Nation, Keeko.
Sad. Sad to see what can happen to the waters out here. We have to all be careful.
But how did
Should
this...
we continue?
How is this... Forgive me, I'm not an expert on these things. I'm more practiced at sinking boats than checking on them under the water again. How is this thing floating here? I'm pretty confident that once you poke holes in boats, they go down and don't stop.
Generally, that would be, I'd assume the same thing. Like, when a boat goes down, I assume it should be all the way down. We've got a long way to go. Can I see anything that might suggest why it's still floating?
That sounds like an assessor situation to me.
Buoyant? I'll give it a crack.
Did you say Jiv?
I think you did.
I did.
Quite a fair
I didn't. Well, I did. Actually, I did say Jiv because this is a massive success for me and is a word now. I have a Jiv at it. That's a fourth thing.
They do say that language is mutable and anyone can change a word simply if enough people have buy-in. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be one of those times, Brandon. I think you're going to be alone on this, just so you know.
So, would you say then that if enough people say a word differently, it would change the name of something, even if the creator is saying that it's pronounced a different way?
That's how language
I was
works.
thinking
Yeah,
the same
for sure.
thing.
If you're trying to do that
that's
with
how GIF
GIF,
came about.
I don't think it's a majority. I reckon if you check that, it's going to be a pretty even split.
One sec.
Right.
One
It
sec.
was a good go. Unfortunately, you were transparent. I could see what you
I
were
was
coming at,
trying to
Marla.
be, don't you worry.
Oh, unfortunately, I do have to concede, like Mr. Library. That is a fair point. If everyone insists his name is Mr. Library, not Nomu, I am kind of locked into that by that logic. You got me. 14, Keeko. That is an absolute fucking success. As you stare
That's
through
an
the dark
absolute jibs to me.
it's an as you stare through the dark waters, you feel a tumor growing inside your spine, and as it suddenly as you stare through into the dark waters, this boat, this probably was a captured vessel. You can see that it looks like it's of probably Earth Nation make, judging by the designs on the boat and the way the mast actually curls up and over. It looks a lot more like some of the boats you'd find around Chameleon Bay, which is one of the popular raiding sites for the Fifth Nation as they were heading north away from the Southern Water Tribe. I'm going to say with a 14, Keeko, I'm actually going to say you recognize this vessel. 14's pretty fucking good. You recognize this vessel.
Best.
This vessel is known as the Wind Spray. It was a captured vessel taken from Chameleon Bay and taken by the Fifth Nation as a essentially like an advanced reconnaissance ship to send out ahead and to scout out locations that might be of use for the Fifth Nation to raid, to pillage, or to stop and rest, to hide and avoid contact with the forces of the Earth Kingdom, the Fire Nation, or the Water Tribe. You would also know that this boat wasn't at the site of Kyoshi's decimation of the Fifth Nation. It was out looking for a safe harbor to try and find a location where the Fifth Nation could rest and recover, not realizing that it was potentially going to be a dangerous outing on that trip. As you examine the vessel, you can see that it's suffered heavy damage. There are shards of what looks like this clear crystalline material, which you realize is glass, covering almost every inch of the port side of the boat. It looks like it has been riddled with these massive chunks of glass, piercing through, cutting into the wood and shattering and splintering the hull. As you look over the ship as well in more detail, you can see that there are 4 ropes. One on the port side, one on the stern, one on the aft, attached to massive chunks of ice. That's what's keeping this boat afloat. The buoyancy of the ice combined with the soaked wood, this has been sunk deep enough that it would be almost impossible to find, but not deliberately sunk to the bottom. For some reason, someone has kept this here at a depth. It has slowly been sinking. Despite the cold waters, the ice is, over time, losing mass, and it will eventually sink to the very bottom. But someone wanted this ship kept just below the surface for a time. What that purpose is, you don't know.
Oh, that's so cool.
How long ago was the decimation of the Fifth Nation?
A couple of years.
It was like 4 years ago.
It's been about 4 or 5 years since Kyoshi, because it's when she revealed herself as the Avatar. I can tell you the exact year that it happened. Actually, I've got a timeline, a full timeline now, so that I can keep track of stuff. So Kyoshi, Kyoshi wiped out the Fifth Nation in 296 BG in the year of the Rooster. You guys are currently in 293, the year of the Rat. So it has been 4 years.
So this ship has probably been here for like 3-4 years?
Could be. You think,
But
though?
we have no way of really knowing.
I'm going to say that
person
Keeko, with
on
his
there.
14, does know. It's not been here that long.
I was going to say, the person's not decomposed enough to be there that long.
This person should have been completely consumed. Like,
Yeah, I was going to say you could argue like
the cold waters.
coldness of the water and blah, blah, blah.
The other thing as well, Keeko with a 14, this person tied to the figurehead, and you can see fish swarming all over the deck of the ship. It's not just this body. There's other food here for these fish.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was sunk down to send a message. Oh, God, I want to. Is there? Okay, relaying information that's relevant, and by relevant I mean what I want to get out. I point out to the avatar like, oh, it's interesting. The ship has been sunk, but you can see the 4 pieces of rope there. That there's huge chunks of ice attached to this. Whoever has sunken the ship clearly didn't want to go down to the bottom so soon. I think there must be something on there.
That surely would require a large degree of skill and knowledge to keep a boat in position, hidden under the waves. But why would someone do that? You think there's something on here, a stash perhaps, some sort of dead drop? And then you watch as she glances towards the corpse tied to the mast. You see a little flinch as she regrets her choice of words in that very moment. So she looks down at Lilly and then sort of like moves over so that you can't see the body, Lilly. She blocks
I'm going to peer around her because I'm finding it really interesting to see how it's tied up.
Lilly, you watch as the empty gaping orbits of this corpse sort of looking towards you. See a small crab come out and begin picking at flesh just underneath the nose. The nose has been almost completely eaten away. The nose and the eyeballs are completely gone.
Me as a person, I find this fucking disgusting. Lilly as a character loves
Taking
this.
notes.
It is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Get some of that black ink, put it upside down pentagram.
She's like taking notes on how to torture people, like.
Cool, yeah.
I feel like I need to.
don't think this is torture. I think this is just like.
No, but if they were still alive, this would be torturous.
Oh yeah, Keeko 14, 100% this person was sent down here alive. They were not. This wasn't. Yeah. This was a message. This boat was sunk slowly. Everyone on the deck of the ship with a 14, you know that there's multiple people on that deck, possibly the rest of the crew, everyone who was consigned as a traitor. This person on the front, this is the person who committed the crime. The others who were on the deck of the ship didn't stop them. This is absolutely 100% with a 14. This is 100% the work of Admiral Cole.
Yeah,
You've heard of this technique. You know he does this to make an example of the Fifth Nation.
Yep. He's still holding up them old school rules still. Yeah. Oh God, I kind of want to. I can't look. Just Avatar like this. These whoever did this obviously wanted whoever's on the ship to suffer by sinking this down here. You can see it looks like it's been attacked. Glass all over this. The ship.
I cannot see any glass. Is there glass along that? She like tries to peer through the gloom.
I point out the shimmering bits of stuff when they're like you can kind of see there. I don't know if you can really see the shimmer, but there's ice or glass or something stuck on the side ship. Looks like it's been attacked.
Hold the bubble for a moment.
Is there any way we can see this?
Yes, hold the bubble for a moment. I can
hold the bubble.
You watch as Kyoshi reaches out and then pulls against the glass as she cements her feet into the ice. The bubble moves closer towards the deck of the ship and then goes over the top of the side of the boat, so that the bubble is partially merged into the ship. As Kyoshi then helps you again with the bubble, keeping it steady. Keeko, whereas before when the bubble was massive, it was very difficult to keep it steady. That loss of volume, that was almost dangerously simple to just keep it going.
I take smaller breaths.
How tall and how heavy are you, Keeko? No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Lilly, you're the shortest.
I am.
Cold in the dark. Starting to feel a little bit sleepy. Just a little bit.
Aw, don't do that to me.
Just a little bit sleepy.
So we up against the boat now, like the glass is in our
you
bubble.
can see these big shards of glass poking out of the planks of the ship. Lilly, as you look, the wood with the glass shards in it, 100%. That plank you found that was floating on that ice floe, it came from this ship. Definitely.
Can I use my stone knife to pry out some of the glass?
For sure. Could I get you to please rely on your skills and training?
Please let this be better than the last one.
Lily just shatters it. Just walks.
Pops the bubble.
You watch as Lily walks up. Lily, you place one hand on the wood, sort of like close one eye and look. As you close that eye, it feels good to close your eyes. It's it's tiring work. You sort of like bring the knife back, and as you do so, it's quiet, calm, sounds of the water pulled around the edge of the bubble. It's gentle, a bit of a soporific. And as you sort of have a little micro nap, you stab your knife forwards and just shatter the glass in a moment. The good news is it wakes you up quite quickly. You sort of have this like sudden jolt awake as glass just rains down onto the bottom of the sphere before being pulled up into the water and begins swirling around the outside of the bubble, these tiny shards of glass. As this happens, you watch as Kyoshi like looks at you in horror and goes, probably best if we don't just shatter the glass. Did you want some glass? Is that what you...
Yeah.
Kyoshi reaches out and glass bends. You watch as she just holds out a hand and then pulls, and a shard of glass about the length of your forearm, Lilly, slides effortlessly out of the wood. You watch as she begins effortlessly bending the glass down towards you. As she does so, she begins to start blunting the edges, sweeping her hands to carve off sections of the sharper glass before she pauses, looks at you, and then resharpens them and then hands it back. leaving only one side blunter so that you can hold it.
I was just thinking with the broken glass, we've just made like a blender essentially, just like it's broken glass.
You watch as a curious fish gets too close, and you watch as it just gets shredded in the water around you. Yeah.
That's like any raid encounter ever where there's like this circular like blender going around.
I was thinking, for me, it reminds me of playing a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3 recently because the new patch. It reminds me of when you cast Spirit Guardians on.
Oh.
And you just walk around. You just do Spirit Guardians and dash, and you just walk around the battlefield. You just walk into low-level enemies, and you watch as they just explode, burn away into nothingness. For me, it's how I imagine Moonbeam, like a really good solid Moonbeam in D&D. When you just drop a solid Moonbeam on someone, and you watch as it goes, boom, and they just evaporate upwards. Yeah, exactly.
Glowing skeleton.
Yeah. As it just gets evaporated.
We're coming up the waters.
This tiny, curious zebrafish gets a little bit closer. You watch as it just gets shredded into nothing around, and its blood is just distributed around the edge of the bubble for a second before being pushed back out into sea. Yeah, Lilly, it's so fucking sick. Metal. As Kyoshi glass bends down this large shard of glass towards you, she blunts off one end. Goes like, that end you can hold. Just be careful. This is very sharp. It's designed to be. This is how Kong operates. This is exactly.
I take it and I'm like, thanks, Kyoshi. Show off. And like put it in my bag.
As you say show off, you watch as she looks down towards you. Goes, there's got to be some perks of being the Avatar. Right. Keeko, your assessment. You spotted this in the distance. What's your take?
Well, you said Kong. Is that a bad person? Like, did I know about Kong before this? Like, was that publicly told to us?
You know Kong. Yeah, Keeko. I know
Kong, but has she told us about Kong before?
She mentioned Kong back on the. I shouldn't tell you this. This is.
I heard Kong, and I was like, "Blood for the blood god."
Yeah, blood for the blood god. I remember, like, when I first came on, like, you told me these things. I wasn't too sure whether or not that was something that was only I knew when talked about glass and stuff, or whether that was something that was shared to the groups. I had some notes that was going through.
Kyoshi, when you guys shared that you'd found that shard of glass in the plank of wood, Kyoshi shared that there was one of the leaders of the Fifth Nation, one of the admirals of the Fifth Nation, self-styled admiral. They didn't have like official positions of admiral. He called himself admiral. He was a glass bender, a very, very proficient earthbender, and his weapon of choice was glass bending. Glass bending.
So she did, yeah.
I'm gonna put this one out there now. So glass bending in the Avatar universe, we don't know if it's something that I believe from what I've seen in a lot of the canon information, we don't know if it's something every earthbender can just do. It does make sense that sandbenders in particular would be pretty good at it as like a higher level of bending for them. But it's one of those things where I imagine it's such a specific form of bending that doesn't come up very often that it's not necessarily that people can't do it, it's just not something that's trained in earthbending. Like how Toph is able to imagine metal bending from like using her knowledge of earthbending to become a metal bender. I imagine that a lot of earthbenders don't have the creativity or the imagination to go, hey, glass is silicon. Like it's just earth. Whereas sandbenders are much, much closer to that. They might be more likely to be glass benders. So I'm going to rule that glass bending is rare. It's not something that's impossible to learn. It's not like a special technique that you have, like a lava bender, for example, or like a. It's more like lightning bending for the Fire Nation. It's a specialized form of bending that is just utilizing a different form of your own bending. But technically, anyone could learn it in the Earth Kingdom. Any Earthbender could technically learn it because we haven't seen enough examples of it. The only example we get in the books is Kyoshi glass bending shards of glass out of her face to heal them. And that's kind of it for glass bending in the entire... We get this little hint, a little taste of this incredible subset of bending, which could be potentially incredible. Like, brutal. You can imagine a glass bender would be terrifying. Like, what we just described with the shards of glass around the outside of the bubble, I want you to picture that with you. Like, glass bending is terrifying inherently. Yeah. I'm giving little tastes of what's to come with Admiral Kong.
I am looking forward to it.
Foreshadowing is a literary device used to
Windwall.
I point out, like, remember she said something about this dude before, like, yeah, I think you're right about this here, and just point out, like, even the dude that looks, I'm not going to say they're a traitor, but I'm like, I'm just got that dude up there on the mast, like, he's wearing clothes of all different types of nations. Like, I wonder if this was a Fifth Nation boat. If anything, it might not have been official.
Wait, you think this is a Fifth Nation boat, not a merchant vessel? What? This is Admiral Cook sunk one of his own boats? Why?
I wouldn't know why. It just, if I'm putting things together, I see glass in the boat. I've heard about that guy from you, and then I see the bodies there. Like, they're not dressed in just one nation's garb. There seems to be a mismatch of everything, and from what I know about pirates or what I've heard, like, it seems pretty piratey to me, I would say.
You watch as Kyoshi takes a second look over the edge of the vessel, examining closely as she begins to bring the bubble up a little bit higher so that you're now looking down at the deck of the boat. I think you're right. Good eye, Keeko. Well done. You've got a knack for this.
Thank you, Captain. That's a pirate joke, I think.
Can you make me? Only because of that one thing there where you fucked yourself over. Can I get you to roll trick an NPC, please?
Isn't Keeko wearing...
certainly can.
Wait, isn't Keeko
literally
wearing, like,
the same style of clothing, for sure. Don't worry.
He's got the water, like, bracelets. He's also got a fire jacket on.
He's literally wearing a Fire Nation overcoat right now. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's all good.
Like, okay.
I thought he got changed when we were at the town, didn't he?
He didn't want to leave his big jacket behind. He did while you guys were.
I like my jacket.
He did while you guys were in the town.
My Fire Nation, Fire Nation jacket's on top, covering up a lot of my Fifth Nation.
Annoyingly, that's a 10. That's an absolute success. Keeko, hey, there's a lot going on right now. Kyoshi's attention is somewhat diverted away from trying to spot and catch you in a lie. She's still trying to keep this bubble intact and stop you all drowning. Sort of.
She also doesn't really have a reason to distrust him like the others did.
I mean, just the fact he's dressed almost exactly the same as the dude tied to the mast, and Keeko immediately goes, yeah, no, for sure, this was a Fifth Nation boat. They sank it with glass. It was traders, yeah.
But like,
that was a mutiny.
It's an incredible deduction.
We're like actively looking at looking for lies, looking for holes in his story because they already thought he was Fifth Nation. She wouldn't have that.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, there's a paper fly past and then make up the perfect piece of paper of Keiko's face.
Yeah.
I've got bonds to pick up the third to back me up if I failed, so we're cool. I can lie.
Oh, I forgot that you had Pippin Paddleopsicopolis the third. Shit. Okay, that's good to know as well. You've got a good eye for this. Yeah, I can see why Rangi recruited you, and you too, Lilly. You're genuinely terrifying with your bombs. I don't think we need to activate any depth charges right here for the moment, but Keeko, your instincts are telling you that there's something valuable on the ship. You think they kept it onto the surface of the water to hide something of value? Come back to it later?
I mean, if you're going to sink a ship, you'd sink a ship, right? Like, why else would you go for this effort?
Exactly. We're in agreement. Can you keep this bubble steady? I might go have a look. Unless you think you'd do a better job. You've already caught things that I missed. I'm half tempted to ask you if you're willing. Take a quick trip outside the bubble. Lilly.
Oh.
Would I know that my tiredness is from lack of oxygen?
Could I get you to roll... This would fall under skills and training. You've been specially trained in like understanding chemical reactions and knowing that if you breathe certain smokes, you fall asleep and things like that. I'd say that this is skills and training. I'm half tempted to give you disadvantage because I'm a dick and because you're currently dealing with oxygen starvation, but I'm not going to. We're going to keep it as a standard flat roll.
I mean, I got a 12, so...
12. Lilly. That's 2 6s. Because you've no pluses to it. That is nice. That is the
I don't have any
maximum.
pluses.
It's the maximum you could have got. Lilly. There's a sudden moment of clarity as Kyoshi and Keeko are talking about something that you would find so interesting. You find yourself nodding off again. And it's in that moment when you realize, like, you just picked up a shard of glass that you could turn into a dagger right now. Literally right now. It's right in your hands. And you just put it in your bag. And you're currently falling asleep. Something is terribly wrong. You are burning through your oxygen. You know that carbon dioxide, when you breathe out, that you can also produce from certain chemical reactions, it sinks. It's a bit heavier than the air around you. It's filling up the bubble from the bottom up. And the cold is only making those separated layers of gases worse.
I am going to just like very sleepily like tug on Kyoshi's shirt while they're discussing who's going to go on the boat.
Did you see something, Lilly? Lilly, what's wrong?
We're running out of air.
Feels fine to me. Are you sure?
Come down to my level.
Kyoshi sort of like looks for a moment, still bending, and then with one hand reaches down, picks you up and puts you on her shoulders and keeps bending as she like begins moving around. Lilly, instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly feel better.
Okay, I'm going to relay that and be like, oh my god, yes. Okay, so carbon dioxide down there. It's up to my head height. It's rising. We need to either somehow get some more air happening in here or we need to start heading up.
I think it's Avatar. You hold on to Lilly. I'll hop outside for a quick squiz.
Be quick. We need to get Lilly to the surface. I think all of us do. If Lilly was having troubles at, my waist height, we've been down here 5-10 minutes. I don't think we've got much longer left. It's catching up quickly. Go. Fast, Keeko. And if you run into trouble, do not be a hero. Come straight back.
Be a
Keeko,
hero.
Hand across mouth of water.
Perfect. As you grab a big old breath, Keeko, and head back out into the water, it is icy cold, but you're ready for this. You were a salvage diver for the Fifth Nation. You are prepared. As you push your way out of the bubble and begin swimming, there are bodies across the deck of the ship. They've not been tied to the wood. They've been nailed to it with shards of glass. The fish, crabs, the eels have been having a field day. A feast laid out on a silver platter for all of them to enjoy. As you fight down the nausea, make your way towards the porthole heading down into the lower decks of the ship. The murky, dark, black water pushes around you. With no light source, it's very, very hard to see down here. You are in luck, however. As you head below into the inner section of the middle deck, bioluminescent fish swim through the gloom. Out of eyes of predators above, they move throughout the water, long, sinewy, like fins that trail behind them, blinking with light. Provide just enough for you to see inside the deck of the ship, inside the middle deck. This boat clearly suffered some horrific damage, even before the massive shards of glass were thrown at it. You can see one section where a cannonball has burst through the sides of the side of the deck, the side of the prow, and pushed back and shattered one of the middle support beams, collapsing one of the lower decks below you, the crew quarters below you. Probably a blessing, given what happened to their comrades on the deck of the ship. There are, however, a number of barrels stacked up against one of the corners, and a chest. roughly about 1 meter long, 50 centimeters high. Doesn't look too heavy. Just sitting there.
Know what to do.
Booty.
The little bubble.
You know what to do.
That little bubble's wrapped around my face. I'm just like, ooh, get those little shivers of like, ooh. It's like doing an old job you haven't done in a while. It's like, ooh, okay, I know what to do here. Grab it, sort of pick it up, start swimming. Or sort of like as I'm going past the body, old habits die hard. I sort of just open up the jacket just to look inside for the pocket. Nah, don't see anything cool. Swim by.
Keeko, as you pull open one of the jackets, these men were not stripped of their belongings. There is a coin pouch sitting inside the top breast pocket of the first body that you open.
Old habits die hard. Grab that, tie it around my waistband.
Keeko, you know that it is customary for the pirates of the Fifth Nation. When men die, they're often given back to the sea, sometimes with a gift to give the spirits. Now, you don't think this was deliberate. You don't think this man was allowed his coin purse taken back. But as you take away the coin purse, you know it's wrong to take all of it. For his soul to rest at sea, a single coin will be enough. Something to take back with him. Something to pay.
I take a single coin, put it back into his breast pocket, tuck it in, and just like
you can take the rest of it. Just leave a single coin behind.
Oh yeah, I'm taking the rest of it. Yeah, but I'm taking one coin out in the pocket.
Yeah.
Pat the jacket. Off I swim.
Yeah. The spirits can be bribed sometimes. Pay the way for men who have lived violent and, let's say, lawless lives. Sometimes you need a bit of a hand to get your way back into good graces.
I just hope he's already used that money to pay his way in spirit coin. Now the coin's just mine.
Exactly. As you swim back towards the bubble, you can see Lilly and Kyoshi staring at you. It was very much inspired by the penny for the ferryman from Greek mythology. I loved the idea of these are pirates. They know they're breaking the law. They know they're doing the wrong thing. They believe they're doing it for a good cause, but deep down, especially those who are working underneath Admiral Korg, they know they're committing violent, atrocious acts that is really not doing them any favors in whatever afterlife they believe in. And it's funny, but for men of money and blood, sometimes a bit of gold to pay the way might help you sleep a bit better at night, thinking that you can pay your way out of the horrible things you've done. I imagine that's how the Fifth Nation
need some gold.
Exactly.
Lilly, you're going to need to
the
really...
palms of humans? Maybe it works with spirits?
Hey, who knows, right? And it's better than nothing. I imagine is the sentiment. But yeah, very much inspired by the Greek mythology, where you have to have a gold drachmi for Chiron, the ferryman, to carry you across the river Styx. Often placed in the mouth or on the eyes. As you make your way back towards Kyoshi and Lilly in the bubble, Keeko, you can see them staring towards you, Kyoshi keeping the bubble steady. There's also these large, jagged planks of wood floating in the water behind them. Massive, massive section, almost like a couple of broken masts. And then as you look up, you can see the light filtering down from the surface, this orb. Soft, greeny gold light. Only it can't be the sun. You're so deep. And you can see this long, trailing, almost like some sort of arm coming off the edge of this light, this long, trailing appendage. And that's when you realize these jagged, splintered sections of wood are teeth. An enormous open maw. Massive interlocking teeth slowly opening. You can see a monstrous sea creature behind Kyoshi and Lilly. Large angle, heading for a large angler? Angle? What would you call a single... I'd call it a lure, personally, but I wonder if it's got another name.
I think it is called a lure.
Yeah, a large lure from this large anglerfish-style creature. This large lure bobbing in the water just above Lilly and Kyoshi. You can see this enormous creature slowly begin to open its jaws around the back of the bubble. What do you do, Keeko?
chest. I was like moving the chest under one arm now. I'm just like pointing, swimming and kicking as hard as I can with one chest and just pointing where I'm seeing this.
Lilly, you see Keeko swimming towards you with a treasure chest. Oh, treasure. Fantastic. I think he's like pointing at you. I guess he's really pleased that he managed to get the treasure chest. It's at that moment you also think there's other options for why someone might be pointing frantically. Turn around. You see a vast cavern behind you. Stalagmites and stalactites reaching from the walls and floor of the cavern, growing further apart as an enormous mouth opens around the bubble.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Kyoshi about that.
What do you say?
But is she focusing on what she's doing?
At the moment, Kyoshi's looking around, like back towards Keeko. She's seeing Keeko coming and immediately focuses on the area around.
Great.
Like as she tries to keep the bubble steady, she's much more focused on the bending than she is like her surroundings in this very moment.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be like, Kyoshi? Turn around. Look behind us.
Fuck. Is what you hear. As Kyoshi then sends a single blast of fire out through the bubble, it bursts the edge of the bubble. The bubble stays intact as she holds it, but you watch as one of the walls of the bubble pushes outwards as she sends a blast of fire. The bubble shrinks by another 20% as it collapses around you.
Oh,
That's
fuck.
above head height though, right? So like the carbon doesn't go away. It's just cool.
Well, it's at waist height, so it's going to lose equal amounts of oxygen and carbon dioxide at this point. So
Okay,
it's
cool,
not.
cool.
The good news is they're not just losing. She's not pushing upwards. That would be a fucking disaster. Pushing downwards, infinitely better. But if she pushed upwards, like all the oxygen just goes. You just take one breath and then instantly die. You just.
Can I, just before Kyoshi does that, can I lob my bomb into its mouth?
Oh fuck yes, Lilly. Would you like to roll with? I'm going to say that this is a passion roll. This is a strike essentially.
Charge.
Depth charge, baby.
That's a 6.
That's a miss.
You threw the wrong one. You took like you took the spare that was for like the mashed potatoes. You took the wrong one out.
Lilly.
Oh wait! Is there from me doing that observe before?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let me just see whether this might be like doing some bullshit here. Did observe, and I gave some information to my team based on that information on that.
Yeah.
So
So
if
you
I
can
take
give a
this-
+1.
maybe
Is there a way to give it a negative?
it's got the association.
The spiral of water comes down, grabs the bomb, brings it up to the surface. You just catch it, Andrew.
Like, oh, fuck.
And then it
This one
detonates.
comes into play.
Oh my.
Might be able to do some good here. But when it's a situation and give a companion instructions based on the answer. So it's a situation, I learned about the ship, gave information, stuff like that, and then we made the thing to do this thing here. I could have a leadership point, which I could use that leadership point on bolstering a companion, giving +1 to their roll. That's if it's not too BS me.
Can
Like
I
when
actually
we
just give it a
do
negative
the
one
leadership
somehow?
thing. No.
It's way funnier if it fucks up. Sorry.
I use my single purpose.
But then, how do I bolster someone if I'm swimming in the ocean? with the
Keeko,
chest
I'm
in-
gonna say that in this instance, the situation that you described on the deck of the ship, unfortunately, isn't related to the enormous sea monster coming towards her. While you have prepared her for situations on the ship, I don't know if you could narratively argue that you had prepared her for the arrival of an enormous anglerfish.
No.
A moray anglerfish is what we're going to call it. Because you watch as inside its jaws, a second set of jaws open up and start moving towards you.
This one's actually just a nightmare.
If
Chris.
pretty bad.
if I can't use the bolster, can I still have a team point for later for the
Yes,
observation?
absolutely, to
People?
use where you need. 100%.
I'll take the team point.
Definitely have the team play.
Thank
Lilly,
you.
I'm going to say that you're 6. You throw the bomb. It's a perfect shot. You watch as the bomb flies through and lodges itself in the teeth of the creature. It's at that moment you realize you didn't light it.
That's okay because I did it just before Kyoshi threw out some fire.
It doesn't activate just yet. But you do know, because Kyoshi sends a blast of fire right through the center, your bomb immediately goes and then starts sinking because it's heavy, right? And as soon as it sinks in and lands on the bottom jaw, at least you know it's there, and at least you can tell Kyoshi to aim for that spot, hey? So it's not a complete failure.
Yeah.
It is. It's a failure. But
it's a failure. It didn't
there's
blow
opportunity.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Perfect.
I'm going to point it out to Kyoshi and be like, hit that. I forgot to light it. I got scared. I'm sorry. Can you just blow that up? There's a bomb right there.
Yeah, we're going to get Keeko first, though, okay? As Kyoshi sends out another blast of fire right to the maw of the creature. As her first, I'm going to say the first blast, as it shoots through and strikes that second set of jaws that were coming right for the bubble, it pulls back and you see this creature open its jaws wide in a scream that echoes through the water. Back up on the surface, Jedd. The water just vibrates ever so softly, and you hear this very faint bloop. It still sounds like there's no ice balls coming up. It's probably still fine. Back down below in the nightmare show.
Okay, I'm gonna go take a nap, guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Back down in the
I like
nightmare
ice
zone.
balls.
The blast of fire and the release of air out one side of the bubble causes it to vault forwards towards you, Keeko. In this instance, fantastic for you, as you are suddenly immersed inside the bubble, dropping onto that ice floor at the very bottom. Kyoshi immediately turns to you and goes, "Push up now!" as she begins pushing out little blasts of fire and stops pushing down on the bubble. It immediately begins to ascend. Keeko, could I get you to please roll with skills and training? Lilly, could I get you to please roll with skills and training as you direct Kyoshi exactly where to fire and detonate this bomb right as the creature. As the bubble begins ascending rapidly, your ears immediately begin this sensation of painful deep pressure. Keeko, that's a 3. You watch as Keeko, rather than pushing down, sort of as he stumbles, pushes to the side, and the bubble begins spinning as it ascends.
Beyblade, let
No, but that's what we're gonna do. We use the blender we've made and ram into the fish.
No, here's the thing, Keeko. What you don't want now, you don't want the bubble to spin, because that means you're losing upwards velocity or lateral velocity, which is not what you want. Centrifugal velocity, and you're shedding air too every time it.
Kyoshi goes to go put the fire out, it just spins.
It's going to be that much harder. Lilly, what was your 7 successful consequences? Okay. This is going to help Kyoshi out a little bit.
I rolled a 6 and a 1.
Keeping it consistent. Taking the average on that one. As the bubble begins spinning rapidly, Kyoshi sends out 1-2 blasts that just go wide. As the creature emerges from below, Kyoshi looks down, the ice partly in her way, cracks it through, grabs the back of your head, Lilly, and holds you over her shoulders to protect you as she sends a single blast of fire straight down. This one goes right past the creature, almost scoring the side of its body as it lets out this other terrifying scream and gets even closer. Kyoshi turns to you wide-eyed. Where am I firing? Point
I'm
now.
just gonna because I'm on her head, I'm just gonna hold her head and point directly where her line of sight would be, because you know how when you point, people always try to get where you're pointing.
Exactly.
Yeah, do that to her.
Perfect. As you grab your 2 arms and put them on the side of her head, creating almost some sort of heads up display. You create a little aperture. I actually think that's
Pull up
too
a crosshair.
And her head hub.
That's almost too funny not to say that's what you do. I'm gonna you create a little aperture. Somehow this works. As you create this moment, guide her head down towards it, you watch as Kyoshi gathers her arm back, pauses, looks you in the eyes, and then rather than fire, you watch she begins to move her arms in a different pattern, much more like waterbending. As lightning begins to crackle across her fingers,
Show off.
she then releases downwards. Lilly and Kyoshi are both going to take a fatigue from this. Kyoshi's not an accomplished lightning bender just yet. As the lightning crackles up over her body, you take some damage from this too. She takes some damage.
Yeah.
As she releases this bolt of lightning downwards, you watch as the blast detonates your bomb instantly. The lightning coursing through, splitting the casing and igniting the black powder within. The explosion underwater, Lilly, fucking beautiful. You watch as this flower of flame blossoms in the depths, the light streaking out from all sides, and you watch as an enormous bubble of force emerges from the creature's mouth from this tiny speck. You watch as light and sound explodes outwards. And then, just as quickly as it expanded, as this wall of flame moves towards you, it compacts back down again, the crushing weight of the water pulling in on itself as the explosion implodes back in on itself. The teeth of the creature shatter in an instant under the weight of this explosion and the pressure of the water. One of its teeth flies back and stabs into one of these eyes along its side as it lets out this ungodly scream under the water, and immediately begins thrashing and moving. On the surface of the water, Jedd, a little wave rocks the boat. Back down under the It's quite nice.
At this point. I'm just asleep.
Okay,
it's done.
lovely. Back down under the surface of the water, the blast of
We're
lightning.
like fighting for our fucking lives, and he's having a nap.
Yeah, he's just like, kick him back.
This is just Marco.
Yeah.
Like, you regret.
No. If I went down with you, I'd be dead. That's the difference, though.
Or you'd be making a wish. I don't know. One of those options.
Just talk to the sea serpent.
So yeah, essentially this is a giant avatar version of a sea serpent. A much more horrifying version of the Unagi from the Warriors of Kyoshi, where it's got the anglerfish head, massive lure, and then the long body of a moray eel with those beautiful long sail-like fins that moray eels have along their long side. Rather than having the stripes, it has the leopard moray eel spots, some of which are glowing bioluminescent to try and attract prey. There we go. I've described the creature in full. Now everyone can have really good nightmares. You're welcome. As you're welcome. As the creature screams under the surface of the water, the bubble begins picking up speed. But you find yourself struggling to get a breath. It's at this moment that this sudden blast of water and air from above pierces through the bubble, which expands open as the whirlpool of air and water that Jedd had been creating before. I'm going to say you didn't have a nap, Jedd. You kept up this work.
Ted can do it. Ted can do it.
Ted's taken over.
Fine.
Ted's
Yeah,
better.
Ted's a better airbender, apparently, so he can do it.
There's a waft as a bit of flatulence from Ted gets pulled in and airbended down as well. As the as Ted continues to work with Key to send air downwards, it wasn't getting deep enough for where you guys were. Now that you're a bit closer to the surface, the bubble immediately fills up with air again. As it gets closer and closer to the surface, you find this pressure in your chest, forcing you to exhale rapidly as the air that you've been breathing at depth begins to expand painfully. Keeko, you know to do this. I'm going to say that you can use your point to warn your friends, Kyoshi and Lilly, that if they don't breathe out, they're going to fucking die.
Yeah, what? I'll do
Keep that to yourself.
But
You're going to be the pirate who defeated Kyoshi.
I will be the one. Amy Corn will take me back. Yeah.
Thing is that as this happens, you watch as Lilly like blood eagles, as her ribs crack open. You watch as Kyoshi begins to do the same, and instead she just reaches out, grabs some water, and begins healing herself while she looks you dead in the eyes. She begins healing the exploded lungs.
Just healing the lungs with like the blood tears coming out
Yeah.
of all the pressure.
Grabs you by the
Pirate
I'm
Keeko.
point.
Pirate
Hey,
Keeko was a
guys.
traitor, and I tore him asunder. At the trial later on, when Aang like summons her spirit on the mountaintop. As you begin ascending rapidly, you warn Lilly and Kyoshi of the need to kind of exhale as this goes on, as the pressure releases rapidly. As you get closer and closer to the surface, as the bubble breaches the surface of the water, sending the three of you kind of sprawling onto the deck of the ship, the boat rocking suddenly. Jedd, you were having a really nice nap. And then suddenly, as the boat is rocked backwards and forwards, a spray of water right into your face. And then Lilly steps on your stomach as she drops onto the boat on top of you lying down.
Why?
Hey, Jedd.
As your mouth opens, a tiny leather parcel just dropped back.
I just like sit down cross-legged. I'm like, look, I found glass, and I like pull the glass thing. I got it this time.
Careful with that. Oh.
Kyoshi wasn't ready for you to be this okay. As you sort of like sit down and pull out the glass, you watch as she like puts a hand on your shoulder, puts a hand on Keeko's shoulder, looks you dead in the eyes, goes, "It's okay. We're okay. We made it out."
Find
Koz
anything?
Koz and Kyo, I think we need to get this boat moving. Yara, if you three could focus on waterbending, Keeko's going to need a break. I'm going to need a break. That was absolutely fucking terrifying. Not a word to ring.
What'd you find?
As she grabs Lilly and Keeko and brings you in close. Like, not a fucking word to ring. You okay? This is between you and me.
No words.
Good. Great.
Exhibit A. Got
Good.
you.
What?
Hey, Keeko, where's that chest?
You found a chest? Nice.
Keeko, as you set the chest down on top of Jedd's,
It's just it.
Leg.
Koz just nods and goes, "Nice."
Thanks, bro. Bump. But yeah, I did find a little chest. If you guys want to have a little.
Bleep.
The chest that you drop onto the deck of the ship, Keeko, hasn't been in the water long enough to gather barnacles. Not substantial ones, anyway. But there is still a crab, a really confused, slightly traumatized crab clinging to the edge of the wood. And as you drop the deck down onto the boat, you watch as it slowly releases its tiny claw and then falls backwards with its legs in the air on the deck of the ship before pulling itself upright and scuttling off and then back into the water again, disappearing over the deck of the ship.
Goodbye, little friend. That little dude had one hell of an adventure.
You've traveled as few crabs dare to dream, flying.
I'm a told to my people. I've seen things. Crab people, crab.
That's a good question. Would it be Avatar? Are crabs also hybrids?
Crabs are peak evolution. They can't
That's
go into
true.
anything else.
Yeah, everyone
Turtle?
just turned
No, there
crab,
are
you're
turtle
right.
crabs. There are. Okay, so it would be a.
Wait, isn't that just a crab?
a turtle
shell?
crab?
Crab with a
Yeah,
big
like it's just
shell.
a crab with a bigger shell, right?
It's just a hermit crab. Is it just a hermit crab?
Yeah, like it's a...
It's a tiny old man face with a little bindle.
It's everything trying to reach crab. Okay, so crabs in Avatar are just the step before they become pure crab.
Yeah, with a little bindle.
They haven't reached peak evolution
that's the
yet. They're just getting there.
Yikes! What does a turtle crab look like? I'm trying to see. Here we go.
You turn
It's a crab.
Oh,
It's probably like
turtle crabs
I
are really
just
cute. I'm going to say
found
it's a
one
turtle
and
crab.
I don't know if you're looking at the same picture as me when you're saying "oh." It's got
probably
it's got like the body and face of a turtle, and then it's got crab legs and pincers.
Oh, I was imagining a little bit more like a horseshoe crab, where it's got almost like
Yeah,
a large
that's what I'm
turtle
seeing.
shell over the top,
like an
the-
umbrella crab.
and like the large turtle fins as well, but then the little crab face and crab claws with the little legs as well.
I'm gonna put this in the hybrid animals chat.
Turtle crab is kind of just looking like a hermit crab to me right now.
Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's a woodlouse crab. Rather than being like horizontally long, it's like not vertically long. What would I call that? Rather than being long in the y-axis, it's
Depth.
longer in the x-axis.
Yeah, I was just
When you're
saying-
talking
See
about
what I
a
mean?
room or something, you talk about depth, so it'd be like
But you can't. Okay, tell me right now that it does not sound fucking
Length.
weird to say it's not wider, it's deeper. That's a weird way to describe it, right? Come on.
it would be length, would it not?
It's longer rather
Because-
than wider. Yeah.
Length,
But,
wide,
like-
height.
Yeah, I know it's a funny way to describe a creature though. Like it's when you suddenly try and do that, it doesn't quite work in the same way. Rather than being as wide, like it's longer. It's got like the woodlouse length. It's still an arthropod of some description. It's just got these big crab claws, but it's also got the really long antennae of the woodlouse. You know, they've got like the really really long, and they can roll up into
So
a little
it's
ball.
something that's evolving into a crab. Okay,
It's
cool.
yeah, it's exactly right. It's going through carcinization. Yes,
Yeah.
that is the term for a creature slowly evolving into crab. It's carcinization.
Because everything is crab.
Yeah.
For that information.
If you don't know the
Use that.
reference of everything is crab, throughout the fossil record, a number of unrelated species have just decided to become crabs. Not genetically, but physically. The crab body structure is so efficient, animals keep evolving into it. It's such an ideal niche for creatures that multiple species throughout the fossil record have just gone, yeah, I'm a crab now, and just evolved
crab.
into the crab
Yep.
shape. Yeah. So it's one of those things.
You
It's
what?
like it must be the peak of evolution. On the other hand, though, I would argue that if a creature keeps evolving into crab, that's a sign of peak evolution. But what about a creature that's evolved into a body structure that has not changed since before the time of dinosaurs, which is the shark, right? Like, the shark has not significantly changed in body plan or structure for millions of years.
Crocodiles, like
Crocodiles as
those
well.
dudes, like
Crocodiles as well. Yeah, there's a lot
digging
of
it out.
lot of
But then the
structures.
horseshoe crab exists.
And the
Like,
horseshoe crab
so-
also just hasn't. Yeah, it's just still around.
Yeah. So
That's fucking weird. Yeah. Again, crab's a king crab. You watch it. Yeah, as the little. Just punch my microphone. You watch as the little woodlouse crab rolls up into a little ball, almost like a millipede, and then rolls off the deck of the ship using its claws to vault itself upwards, bloop, back into the water. As it disappears, yeah, Keeko, the chest that you've pulled out. It's not been in the water long enough to be covered in barnacles, but the wood is pretty soaked through. Luckily, though, whoever had this chest knew that it would be exposed to water, and you can see pitch has been soaked into the joins between the wood. Whatever's inside, probably waterproof. The chest has been designed to protect from the salt water. It's been fully immersed in water. There may have been some water soaking through the wood itself, but if this chest was made properly, the inside contents might still be okay. There is, however, a massive padlock bolting the chest closed, and this has rusted quite significantly.
what will we do?
It's like I'm gonna just get a bit of water, see if we try that freeze and maybe try and like see if we can just expand out
Expand
the
it
lock
and
inside.
blow it up? Yeah. That seemed
Yeah.
about fair. Yeah.
Could you please push your
Break
luck?
the lock. I've tried this once before. Let's see if I can do it again.
I think you'll be okay.
Come on.
Now you've got crab.
Anyone else want to have a go?
Stuck in my head. 5,
Yes.
that is a miss. Lily.
After he like breathes it while he's trying to expand it, can I just hit it really hard with the hammer?
For sure. Do you want to roll with... I'd say push your luck still applies here too.
That's a 4.
Lily, you just slam the hammer down, shattering the ice and like perfectly cleaving the ice that was around the lock.
Damn it.
You watch as...
After all this like talking about evolving to crab, we're just returning to monkey right now. We're all just
Please don't clip this.
I'm gonna get
Fire big! Fire big!
Oh,
What's
yikes.
wrong?
I would like to go get Tilla and ask her to sandbend the block open somehow. 'Cause she's smart.
I've never... like try and pick the lock, or do you want me to bust it open using sandbending? It's not something I've ever tried before. I can give it a go.
Try to bust it open, or like if
Can I
you
airbend
move
with
the
force?
sand fast enough, could you essentially like cut through the metal?
Yeah, sand can be quite abrasive. Yeah, Bree's mum coming in with a really harsh put down there. Notice how the men reverted to their natural state. I would like to point out that all of us are evolved from monkeys. It's not just the men. We're just closer to it.
Going, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Some of us are just closer to crab.
We're just more in touch with our ancestral pathway. How can I spin this in a positive way? I can't.
We're just jimping out, just boys.
Just boys.
Just the boys.
Just the boys.
I
Boys
normally don't
doing
like
boys
rolling for player characters, but you have specifically gone and asked for Tilla. I'll roll for Tilla. This will
Yeah.
be under her skills and training. I'll roll for her in her thing.
Bree, you're closer to crab apparently.
Yeah.
What comment is that?
You can tell by my crabby nature.
It's just, what kind of asshole goes like, you're closer to crab?
Well, we're closer to
My
monkey.
mum said that I remained evolved.
Yeah, closer to crab. We're all evolving
Hey,
to crab. so
Success with
we're monkey.
consequences. Yeah, I agree. Boys being boys
Nice,
is
go
not
Tilla.
acceptable. Boys being monkeys, though, I think is absolutely appropriate to use as a put down. Tilla, 8, success with consequences. You watch as Tilla brings forth a very thin stream of sand and begins spinning it around in her hands, getting it faster and faster and faster, almost like a buzzsaw, before she brings it closer and begins cutting away at the metal of the lock. Not at where the padlock is thickest, at the the actual join where the metal is locked over, but at the hinge where that section of metal goes into the hollow body of the lock. And as she cracks away at it, a moment later you hear this loud and as the lock breaks free and open, chest is no longer sealed.
And
I'm gonna
everything
turn to her and I'd be
expired
like,
because it gets exposed to oxygen.
I'm just gonna like look at her and be like, hey, that was pretty cool. We could do some interesting stuff together.
Yeah, I didn't really know I could do that in that way. That is pretty cool. I mean, I've used
Do you
that
have any
to
idea how easy it would be to break and enter?
You have like a thief built in.
Lily. I'm literally a thief catcher.
You could be a mastermind.
Yeah, but that means that you know how they work and you know how to avoid being caught. We could do great things together.
Oh,
so
no.
that I can catch them and bring them to justice, Lily.
You'll change your mind.
You won't. I really just don't want to be taking you to prison one of these days. That'd be a bit sad.
You have to catch her first, and I don't think that's possible.
Keeko, are you opening up the chest? Your camera has failed again, Brandon. I want to point out this is the second fail for tonight.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes, I'm certainly opening, and for me, this is going to be like.
I'm so tempted to be like, as soon as he comes back. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. It's been wonderful for having you. Keeko, are you opening up the
chest? And this is just like a drug addict or just an alcoholic going back for their first drink. It's just like having like opened up a chest of booty for such a long time.
It's desperation
like,
here.
This rush of like this old thrill, like ooh, haven't opened up a chest from a sunken ship in a while. Ooh.
Lily.
As he is opening the chest, I failed and assess a situation, so therefore I would like to use casing the joint and see what is the most valuable or interesting thing in this chest to me.
The friends you made along the way. As you open up... Not gonna lie, the knowledge that Tilla can make a circular saw on command using sandbending is pretty fucking valuable.
Pretty cool.
As Keeko opens the chest. The hinge is partly sealed. Bit of resistance, Keeko, as you have to fight against the rust, but with a break through whatever metal had formed over. And as you begin to open the chest, sound of metal scraping on metal, a squeak of the hinges as it opens. And as you look inside the chest, that is where we're going to wrap up for today's session.
I knew you were going to fucking do it.
Of course I was.
He's going to Pulp Fiction us right now. We're going to see the chest open, and we're not going to see what's in the chest.
Yeah, I fucking knew it. I could feel it coming because I looked at the time. It's like 9:30 on the dot. I'm like, this is where this is going.
Yeah, my 9:30 alarm went off, and I was like, cool.
I'm not going to pretend for a second that like we all didn't know this was coming. It's me. It's Avatar. I love ending on a cliffhanger. Like, 100%.
Just for reference, you told us that we could do a character growth this session, and we didn't, assuming because Archie and Dragon are both away, so we'll do it.
Exactly correct.
No,
we're going to do it at the beginning of the next. Okay? They do the reason. So I did debate about this at the very beginning, going through and doing the character growth questions. I figured it is better to do it as a team. If we were just one person down, I'd be like, I'll do it with that person after on, and we'll just do it with the other four. But given that we were two people down, I thought, hey, it's not going to have a huge impact on your survivability this episode. Little did I know that you would be going down to tussle with the sunken ship. I did not expect you to be.
We like throwing spanners in the works.
They handled it well.
You do. I had to do a little bit of rearranging of some things because you were like, oh, we're going to go explore down in the ocean deep. And it's like, it's pretty shit as a GM to be like, it's dark and you see nothing. So I moved some things around a little bit in the world so that you could get that. But yeah, I obviously didn't think that you'd need the growth. Potentially you might have, but we will do the growth at the beginning of next session with the rest of the people here, for sure.
Yeah, we're fine.
Can I evolve to crab?
Can you what? Sorry, Andrew?
Evolve to crab.
Can you evolve to crab?
Yeah, is this something I can do?
Airbending.
Why are you like this?
Oh, it's something that's wrong with me. I can't pinpoint what it is though.
Because the Airbender, you can be a pistol shrimp, so you can do the.
Oh, can I?
The mantis. If you want to evolve it, look, I'm going to be honest. The mantis shrimp is the coolest creature for a number of reasons. Don't get me started on how cool the mantis shrimp is. I could talk about that all night. Maybe not all night, but for at least 10 minutes. No, that's okay. Well, no, you can't evolve into crab. Sorry, let me just nip that one right in the bud. You know how I said, and I know people are going to call me on this. I did say that within TTRPGs, as much as possible as a DM or a GM, it's really good to say yes to your players. with the caveat of how to spin it, and try and limit saying just no as much as you can. For this exact example, no. No.
You think there's like a crustacean TTRPG out there?
A crustacean
Anytime-
TTRPG. I can make it for you, mate.
Like, so, like you can play as like a shrimp or crab.
Do you want
or,
to play?
like,
Do you want to play Crab People TTRPG?
Yes, that would be so cool.
Actually, Andrew, do you know what? If you join us in the Cosmere TTRPG, technically you can play as a crab person because the Parshendi grow carapace armor, and the whole of the world
my
of the
God.
Stormlight Archive, the whole of Roshar, is very much geared towards an evolutionary pathway involving a lot of invertebrates and arthropods. So technically, if you
That
join
is
us for the
so
Cosmere
cool.
TTRPG as a Parshendi, and you can grow and change the armor into different forms depending on what you need.
That is awesome.
So technically, you could actually play as a crab person without me doing any effort at all. That'll do it. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. For those of you joining us on Twitch, we are going to go and raid one of our lovely friends of the channel. That's not the Twitch tab. Here we go. Let's go see who we want to raid. While I'm figuring that out,
He accidentally opened up his porn.
I just opened up the stream, like the video of the stream, not the back end of the stream, and I was really confused why none of my buttons were there. I was like looking at this thing being genuinely took me way too long to figure that out while I was staring at it. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, you know the drill. If you also want to see Andrew's eventual transformation to a crab person, the best way to do that is to hit the like button or the subscribe button. Inversely, if you don't want him to turn into a crab person, also do those things. It's crazy, but it's the intention that matters. And so as long as you do those things, it'll
It's
help.
weird. Like, somehow it dabs my evolution.
It's
not sure how it
exactly
works.
right. It's a forced evolutionary virus kind of setup, but it works either way. So yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and if you leave a comment, it really helps the YouTube algorithm. It's not a friendly algorithm, much like that sea creature, the moray lamp. What are we going to call it? The moray anglerfish? The angler moray.
The manglerfish.
The manglerfish.
Oh
I
my
like that.
God.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah, if much like the manglerfish, it requires a bit of brute force to get it to do what you want. In this case, not eat people. In our case, actually show us to people. So leaving a comment is one of the easiest ways to do that. But until then, everybody, we will be heading off. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again very, very soon. But until then, have a lovely, lovely time. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody. Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.